Used to, but I mean, it was questioning.
All right, hello, everybody. Welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council of the City of Pearsall. Meeting today, April the 14th at 6 p.m. at City Hall. Madam Secretary, may I have a roll call, please?
Ben Briscoe.
Here.
James Leah.
Present.
Rachel Barton. Here. Sonia Hernandez. Here. Tiffany Talamantes. Here. Ramiro Trevino.
Here.
Brenda Trevino. Here. Aurora Garza.
All right, Madam Secretary, we do have a quorum with
Yes,
that. Please rise. Go with the invitation and, Councilwoman Garza, would you lead us, please?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve our community. Grant us counsel wisdom to make decisions, integrity in their actions, and compassion for all residents. May our work tonight bring unity, progress, and peace to our city. It's in your precious son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Sonia?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Be seated. Welcome. Good to see a lot of folks here tonight. We do have a number of proclamations, and I wanted to get one that's not actually on our agenda, but I'm going to hold it during our mayor's message. And that is as following. There's a proclamation for the Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas in fiscal year 2025, the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services confirmed 27,343 children in state custody due to child abuse or neglect, including 229 in our service area. And whereas child abuse and neglect are serious problems affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions require input and action from everyone in our community. And whereas our children are our most valuable resource and will shape the future of Texas. And whereas child abuse can have long-term physical, psychological, emotional effects that can have lifelong consequences for victims. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote social and emotional and development well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the meaningful connections and partnerships created between child welfare, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, and law enforcement agencies. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that benefit children and their families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and to promote the social and emotional well-being of children, families in safe, stable, nurturing environments. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for children and families. And whereas the impact of abuse and neglect has long-term personal, economic, social costs there for hurting Texas' future. And whereas court-appointed special advocacy CASA volunteers are assigned by the court to speak up for a child's best interest and help ensure the child's voice is heard. And whereas every child in foster care deserves a CASA volunteer, but roughly less than half the children in care do not have a CASA volunteer. And whereas 6,991 CASA volunteers spoke up for the best interest of 17,431 children, donating 324,000 hours of volunteer service in Texas last year. Whereas CASA of South Texas dedicated staff, board, volunteers work to ensure that children in our community have a safe and happy future. I now therefore, Ben Briscoe, Mayor of Pearsall, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. And I urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving quality of life for all children and families. Signed this 14th day of April 2026. And y'all, I want to introduce you to Francie Gash. She needs no introduction to Ted Flores, principal here for years and years and years, taught all our kids when they were little. But she is one of those volunteers that donates hours of her time. We would be in a really rough space if we didn't have these individuals. So I'm going to give you. Yeah. Council, do you want to stand up? Thank you. Yeah.
I had those secrets, we could get rid of those.
Yeah,
You wouldn't have any problem.
yeah, amen, amen.
Okay. Did you get everybody in there? Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2, 1 more, 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Okay. All right, and with that, we're gonna go right on into our floors. We have first up on the docket, our police department report by our chief and Florida chief, you're up.
No citizens?
Citizens, here, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, forgive me, chief, I passed that. Citizens to be heard, Madam Secretary, people have.
The two that I have listed are gonna be Terry from Republic Services and then Miss Francie Gash. Did
Actually,
either of you
mine
want
was
to?
a mistake. I thought it was just right, put my name in here.
Okay. We have Terry is with Republic Services, Terry, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Please.
Hello, honorable council, board member. I didn't know where else on the agenda, thank God, I just came down to give the council an update. We met, mayor and Fred and I met, and I think Mr. Leal was on the phone with us.
Correct.
That was on the 31st, no, last week it was. Anyhow, some of we're all in, guys. Fred is probably one of the toughest negotiators you've ever had. Number two, they go the mayor at me. And you got tigers fighting for you and the citizens. And I'm totally on board with you guys. Some of the things that I'm gonna briefly go through because I got 3 minutes. Fred asked us to take a look at his compactor, no problem there. Every year we donate $5,000 to the city for where I think it's around Christmas. We do some other stuff also. I always get presents and stuff at that time, but you're asking for a tire roundup. I don't have an issue with that, but I'd like to do it. Instead of paying for a tire roundup, I'd rather give you the capital to do it with in case somebody got a grant or something, you could just keep the money. So that's just me thinking out loud and asking for a route audit. Mayor wants a CPI cap. I got no issue with that either. We talked about paying some franchise fees on overages, doubling the amount of roll off that. I think it asked for 50 something roll off. We're trying to double that. All these things are doable. I did, like I say, I saw here that y'all are asking to go out for an RFP, which I'm not afraid of an RFP at all. Not at all. I do it all day long. But for the citizens' sake, I get scared because I've seen what happens in your current agreement. You'll have, and Fred will go through this, I'm sure. A lot. We do a lot for the city and at a fair price. And the stuff they're asking for, we're also asking not to raise any rates at all, if not even lower. So that's what they're asking me to do, and I'm working on it right now. Some of the things are so expensive that I have to go to area approval. I'm past that already. I'm past the area. I'm at a different level, trying to go higher, but we're almost there. If an RFP needs done and there's a time issue, we'll extend. I'll extend that for you all. I'm not worried about that time. We love the city, so we're there to help you. But give Fred, I'm asking to give Fred some time to find out exactly the details y'all want, and let us do that. We'll do that non-negotiated, and most of all, we'll try and keep the citizens' rates the way they need to be for the citizens. I know how tough it is to pay any bill nowadays. Trust me. There's so many things that fuel and putting food on the table. Garbage shouldn't be one of them. We're doing our best we can. And anyhow, please let Fred help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Okay, now, I'm sorry, chief, you're up, please.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
I'd like to do something a little bit different.
Free to do that.
Can I please move this podium where we face the council and since the worst time? That works. Thank you. So, I'm gonna go over my reports for the month of March 2026. We had 62 offenses, 46 non-duplicated offenses. 67 charges were arrested, 210 incidents, 78 citations, and 239 more. Officers performed 24 security checks, and unfortunately, due to an error with our computing system, we don't have a total number of calls for searches. In the past, recent past, we've averaged from 500, 400. I would assume it's about that same amount, but I don't have an exact number for me to say anything more than that. I'd be lying to you. Narcotics, 24 grams of, I'm sorry, 31.48 grams of meth were seized during the month of March. 2 ounces of marijuana, 3 THC vapes, and 100 units of Xanax, which is a controlled substance. For CID, 20 new cases were submitted to them. We have 10 drug-related cases right now. And there are 10 pending lab results. Total cases ready for submission. We have 10. 2026. So
When you say, in these labs, is that like, breaks come back as a positive, that way y'all can go in?
yes, ma'am, whenever we get narcotics, we send them off to the DPS laboratory. There they formally test them and let us know exactly what that substance is.
Thank you.
So, apart from that, I know there's been a big stir on social media, and I'd like to address it if allowed to. Okay.
Yeah, you have an item on the agenda, so if you would prefer to do it now, you're welcome to.
Okay, I'd like to do.
Yeah. Fire away, sir.
So recently on social media, there's been this narrative pushed that the police department is not doing anything about shootings in town. The schools are going into lockdown. The police are doing nothing. And why do we need the police? Why do we need the police department when we have the sheriff's department? Right? I'm sure some people here have seen it or read or heard that has been going around. I've been exposed to it about every day, and this is really the only forum where I can speak out against that and defend myself. So I'm going to do it for them. So there's 2 incidents that occurred recently, one on March 18th and one on April 6th. On March 18th, shots fired was reported in the area of Florida Street, just east of Ted Flores Elementary. So here's some key points. The person who made the report advised that they heard the shots, but did not see the person shot. Many officers and deputies from the sheriff's department or the sheriff's office, and we rephrase myself, they checked the area and attempted to locate that person. No person came forward as a witness to assist in identifying who the suspect was. The home where the alleged shooting happened was checked by officers and deputies. So, with that, this false narrative of police doing nothing is ridiculous in my eyes. It's a slap in the face. The narrative that school went into lockdown is also false. I spoke to the police chief from the school district. He advised me of their different statuses. Mr. Almontes, if you'll please help me, but he advised that they have hold, secure, lockdown, and then I can't remember the last one off the top of my head. But with secure, correct me if I'm wrong, please, because you're gonna know a lot more about this tonight. But with secure, that's when there is an incident in the area, a potential threat. So that's why they went into secure. With lockdown, I believe that'd be a verified threat, correct? Where there was someone on the campus or someone attempting to gain entry to the campus. So this story is being pushed out about there being a lockdown. It's completely false. There's been a big push, just not just with this incident on March 18th, but also on the 6th. No arrest being made. Well, let me tell you this, and I want to ask everybody in this room a question. How would you feel if the police arrested you for a felony offense with no probable cause? with no reason other than a pure assumption from somebody. Sir, you're being accused of shooting, so we're gonna arrest you for the felony. Or ma'am, this person is saying that you committed this felony act. We're gonna arrest you, even though we don't have any type of proof. We don't have a witness statement saying that you did it. All of this will be on your record for the rest of your life. We're not, this department is not gonna do it. I'm sorry, but I'm not the guy for it. I'm not going to violate someone's rights to satisfy somebody. Sadly, that's the way it is. Like, we're not gonna do that. That opens a huge liability to the city, the officer, and it puts a burden on the person. And that's where the distrust grows when police departments start doing things like. So back to March 18th, there's also this push about the sheriff's office being first on scene. No, police are always last. Well, for this specific incident, let it be known. I've come to find out that the deputy that first arrived on scene is related to this person making this accusation. I'm not sure if she's his mother-in-law or his sister-in-law, but she's related to a deputy in the sheriff's office. There is already a predisposed bias. I'm sure if you were to ask any of my family members, they would say, why do y'all need the sheriff's office? Y'all have the police department. On 4/6, on April 6th, there was another call regarding a cat that had been shot with a BB gun. This officer that arrived on scene, spoke with the complainant, asked if she witnessed someone shoot the cat. She said no. He also asked if she had any cameras. She said no. I want it to be known, clear, and on record that I don't condone any type of violence. And so that's another thing that I've seen on social media where it's being said like the police department is okay with people shooting them. It's not. For one, it's against the law. But for two, it's just a human being. I don't condone it. I don't. I have cats of my own. My wife feeds our cats. She's back there. And there's also a video circulating around now of a truck who's passing by her residence and allegedly shoots at the residence, spooked the cat. That video wasn't shared with our officer that day. It hasn't been shared since then. I don't know if that video was taken the day of, after the fact. But this person that is making these accusations, she hasn't reached out to the police department at all since either one of these incidents. She hasn't filed a formal complaint. She hasn't asked to speak with me, my captain, or my lieutenant. And that's how it needs to be done. There's also.
Chief, you say a word?
Yes, it was.
Citizens, and what the chief is talking about here is really important. Is that the chief receives complaints, and so I have received calls in the past, and my number is public. And so if a citizen has a complaint, I'm happy to take that complaint and walk through the process. But what I'm interested in the facts. What are the facts? And a lot of times what you get are not the facts. And so I encourage everybody and the citizens who may be listening or get a report in the paper, file a complaint. Chief looks at those and researches them. So that's what that's for. And he takes those seriously and he uses those as a training tool. Okay, if we need to make an adjustment, we'll make the adjustment. But it isn't fair to just complain without taking that next step. And so we're proud of our police, we support our police, they have a hard job. It is a hard job. And the citizens of Pearsall provide a large budget for that. It's our largest budget item to run our police department, but it's critical. So anyway, my word to the citizens is follow the protocol, file a report, talk to the chief, get the facts, I'm welcome to be involved in the circumstances, but that's the best way to handle it. And anyway, we've got us full, we've got a good department, the police have, the chief has our support. So anyway, with that, chief, keep up the good work.
Does the council have any questions?
I just want.
Yes, Chief, but,
Could I just,
Graham, will you hang on just a sec, go ahead and finish.
could I
up.
just finish up real quick?
okay, go ahead.
And then I'll take any questions on my. So there's also been. This rhetoric going around that the sheriff and the county attorney have been assisting. Is complaining regarding this. I hope that's not the case. I hope they're more professional than to undermine another agency. Without even having the common courtesy to reach out. So we can discuss the details. That's all I have to say.
All right,
Sorry, Chief, what did you say?
Councilman, yeah.
Was American and the county attorney or what? Or they different?
I don't know if it's true or false, but this is what's being said. That the county attorney, the sheriff and the rangers are assisting him with all this.
Well, what I would say about that, it's just like an accusation, so if we'll leave the accusations out, we don't know that, just like we don't want to be accused of anything, we'll just leave that out, but Ram, you had.
Yeah, Chief, so
Yes, sir.
let me come in, for you and the guys and the exposure that's being out there, and you guys are out there and taking care of and protecting our community. But the only question and concern I think that comes through the council a lot is, you're right, we're not gonna be able to control what's gonna be put on social media, there is no way. What's gonna be said, and you're right, majority of the time, there's no facts on both ends of the story. But what I am concerned, and I think that that's where, in order for me personally speaking as a council member to extend that support and wherever we can support you guys, is what I don't see out there is the engagement within the community. Now, I'm as we go through, I believe that you have in your department, in your website, you have a department vision. Right? So when I read a vision for any organization, I'm gonna buy and say, this organization will stick to this vision, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, we as a council might hear only the bad side, because legally you can't tell us, and we don't control, but the budget end of it, of your department, it's more of the city manager that's in control of the police department. But you guys are doing a great job. I'm not against that, no. But what I want to see is that engagement with the community and get to know the community more, because I think that's where the problem is the transparency and the communication in a timely manner, and what's abide by the law to communicate back to the citizens. Because that's what we're hearing. The police department didn't get back with us. This didn't happen, this didn't happen. Again, we don't know every situation, and we're not, you and I are not gonna control what's on social media. There's no way. If we could, we would have done it a long time ago. But I just want to hear from you. What is it that you're doing, and explain to the citizens, what are you doing to clear a little bit of the air within your department as far as things that are being put on social media, coming from the people, things like that. I mean, I know that your budget, Mr. Reyes, am I correct? There's a budget item for training purposes with these PD and things like that.
Yes.
So, that's what I want. What is that you're implementing? What do you have implemented with your department to try and fix all? And to try, not fix it because you're not gonna fix it, but to make it, to ease that from you.
Well, we have monthly meetings. We're actually having one tomorrow. If everybody's welcome to attend. It's gonna be at Jalisco's at 9 AM. We'll have coffee, just an informal meet. If you have any questions, we'll answer them.
Chief, how long have you been having those meetings?
We've been having them for, I'd say like 2 years now,
Yeah.
at least.
How many people show up?
I'm gonna have, I could probably count all of them up there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We do that. I'm a member of this community. You can catch me probably any day of the week, and I'm not dressed high and mighty and fancy. I'm dressed in work pants and probably a t-shirt with holes in it, cause I'm doing mechanic work or yard work. And you'll see me at O'Reilly's, a lot of them Walmart. People approach me, but nobody ever tells me. Nobody ever complains to me, you know, and I don't know how I can make things better if I don't know if things are going wrong, but things are not to the people's standards. Yes,
I'd like to add something. I agree with Mr. Trevino about being in the public light, as I'm in a position where it's good to be the community, but I also know that you have to have a budget to be able to put on things for the community. A lot of it sometimes comes out of our own pocket, and that is a very big burden on families. So in order to be out in the community and put on these, other than coffee talks and get out and do things for your, students and children and movies in the park y'all used to do, that all comes with a budget. So with the new budget, we have to put these things in there. And as a council, we have to be supportive of that, because they can't just go put on all these things for the community and shine. That's not ultimately their job. Yes, it is to be in the public eye, but it's not to satisfy all these people and shaking hands and being, in the Hall of Fame. It's about protecting and serving our community. So we have to keep that in mind, that they are here to serve. Yes, we want them to do things, movies in the park, ice cream socials and all that. Yes, it's about that award also, but that has to be in their budget. So do you want them to have more armor or protection to serve us? Or do you want more movies in the park and things for the summer, which we can do both, but we need to look at our budget. So that's something that Mr. Reyes, if you can write down for the record, then we need to up some of the budget for social mixers. If that's what we're gonna be criticized on.
Chief, just want to say again, you certainly have our support. It's a hard job, and keep up the good work. And again, citizens, if you have questions, you're welcome to call me. My number's public, and happy to work through it, but the facts will support. All right, Chief.
One last thing,
yes, sir.
my 2 cents is I don't care what you do, you're always gonna be the bad eye. I don't give 2 cents if you're out there shaking everyone's hand. In today's age, the PD's the bad guy. All you can do and all you can tell your officers is do your job, and what they say, the hell with it. As long as we're serving and protecting our community, that's what we're here for.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I care.
I've always offered. You know, I've always offered because of the crime that's around my neighborhood. I've always told you. Yeah. Or where you need a part and catch them. You know, I'm there to help out what you need as well.
Thank you, man.
Chief, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, next up, we have public work, Victor. Oh, appreciate it. You want that over there? If you want. Ready?
Good evening, County Mayor.
Good evening.
Sam. Real quick, before you should have the monthly report, and I gotta dwell too much on it, as I do every month. Unless you have any questions on this, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
How many wells do we have on?
Free.
How are sewer plants?
It's a operational wise, and we're about 80% right now. Yeah, I do have some updates on you. That's part of the reason I'm here. I'm gonna forego this to talk about stuff.
Water leaks, how are we doing on that?
Water leaks are steady. If you look at the chart here, they're steady. They've climbed up some. And just real quick, I'll recognize the dream team over there. That's what we call it. That is the dream team. People are amazing. They're the ones that are keeping this, that are tending to these main breaks. It's called main breaks for now, right? So, and it's a daunting task, but they're getting it done. And then these things are amazingly, they're getting better. Not at the rate we would like to see. There's always room for improvement, but they are getting better.
How about gas?
What's that?
Gas, gas,
What was your question?
how's the gas doing?
The gas it's okay. We fixed everything we needed to fix for now. Now it's time for the regulation part. It's coming up, so we got some regulatory stuff that we gotta work on. And finalize.
Council, finish your report, and then we'll call.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so unless you have any questions about this specifically, then I'll move on to the updates. We do have a M5. M5 is here, they're back, and they're chugging along. They're right now, they're on they've reached as far as the county.
They're the ones doing the 35 project.
Yes,
The contract
yes,
is
I'm
on.
sorry. I assumed they, knew what I was talking about. Oh, anyways, right now they're working on wastewater and there are adjacent to the county yard. Got a good ways to go, but I believe June, July is the end date for the completion date, I should say. What else? The sewer plant. The wastewater treatment plant is undergoing a couple of repairs. We happy to say that the clarifier was evaluated and what will be the right word? It was, yeah, it's operational. It's working at 100% right now. And it cost us next to nothing. It was all under warranty. So we didn't bear any dollars there. So what else? We also have another project. The rail system has been fully reconfigured and renovated. So we have a good working rail system for our pumpage. Now we just gotta work on electrical. That's the only thing that's left at the wastewater plant is part of the electrical. Aside from that, it'll be fully operational. Other than that, do you have any more updates?
Part of what I wanted to mention to you, and I'm glad that Jimmy Anderson is here. Just really quick on Public Works, even PD, they really are busy, but on Public Works end, we haven't seen this much construction in Pearsall. I haven't been here all my entire life, but there hasn't been this much construction in several years. So we got a lot of projects going. Jimmy, because he's probably gonna speak to this, but they've replaced the poles, some of the power poles. That's happened. Those are all capital improvements. We have two fiber companies here at the same time that are tearing through water lines and gas lines and sewer lines. And I'm saying that to be as blunt as possible, but there's a lot of things that are happening that these guys have to contend with. When we talk about the gas department, the folks that are doing the line locates, it's a gas. So when they have to locate our water lines and sewer lines, those are the guys that are doing it. So anyway, we're busy, super busy. We have, and we're getting ready for some other projects that we have lined up as the council knows. We still have the water line project on Colorado. We still have work at the sewer plant. So it's a busy time. So anyway, just want to make sure that the council understands that there is, aside from what's on that paper, there's a lot of work that's happening, a lot of construction. And it's hard for us to kind of know who we're talking to sometimes, because sometimes we deal with AEP, we deal with the contractors that are doing work. There's another companies doing work for AT&T, fiber work. So there's about 4 or 5 different contractors that are in Pearsall at any given time doing some sort of 3 times.
Yeah, there's 3, we got one that comes in and out.
Yeah.
Periodically,
Yeah.
so.
So anyway, Council, do you have any questions for our utility director?
I just have one.
Okay.
Pothole patch requests, how do people put in those requests?
It's through, you can either call, the rule is to call the yard at 3646. That's the normal route, but you can contact anybody and they'll reroute you to our yard, basically, so.
Okay, reason being, do our citizens know that?
It should, it should be on the website.
Like on their bill or?
We can put it on, we can put that on as a reminder, as a, through our public
That's
notice
smart,
or
right?
letter,
Okay.
newsletter. We
Perfect.
probably should remind them of that. There is a way to do it online
Okay,
through our, but in saying that there is Hector, we are gonna go out for bid on some more street work. Hopefully in the next few months, we're gonna try a different solution on some roads. We're gonna try something different, but we've been spending a lot of money on roads, but it's just a good small portion because a lot of roads being reconstructed. I think the last project we did last year was East Medina, and it wasn't very much. So we're gonna try something a little different. We'll come to the council, hopefully in the next couple of months. Yeah, it'll be more than, it'll be significant amounts of this, that we're gonna let them do something. Anything else, council?
Barbie right over there, or your new.
Yes,
building,
at
right?
the yards, yeah,
Hector,
yes.
we're about to hit the hot days here,
Mhm.
hot months.
Mhm.
Have we done any PMs on the wells to make sure that we can minimize downtime?
We've done some of it, we normally shut down a plant. Concentrate on one plant per year. Each plant, there's a 4-year rotation, we'll shut down one and then totally maintain it. But right now we're down one, so we're kind of skittish a little bit to get started on the full blown maintenance. So basically what we're doing is we're doing a lot of bacterial testing and and just some regular maintenance. And of course, we have the,
That's, remember, you should have something going out for bid for a new water well this summer. So you have another bid, we hope to have that constructed sometime this calendar year, the new one.
and we also have McGuire doing their annual inspections, helping us out a little bit. How to maintain that level, the three out of four. That's the goal we're trying to keep three out of the 4 wells at least going for now. Till we find resolve.
Like your, you guys do a great job, the green team back there, outstanding, you all want their autographs? They'll do that, but we're, council, do you have any other questions? All right, Hector, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Here's our assistant utility director, Jimmy.
Real quick, I wanna acknowledge our cruiser Richard Galvin. He did go test for his water and he did get his license. And licenses now are not easy. We have other water department members that are also testing. So hopefully we'll have more licensed operators in the water and wastewater. But I just wanted to take the opportunity to recognize him that he did get the
Thank you, Jimmy and Hector, for the job you do leading the crew. Well done. All right, next up, Finance Director Christine, are you with us? All right.
Ms. Caitlin Gondler will be giving the report today.
Okay, howdy.
Mayor, good evening, council. As of March 31st of this year, the city completed 50% of the fiscal year, and I will be giving a quick summary of the general fund and the utility fund. So for the general fund, revenues exceeded expenditures by approximately $1.5 million. Ad valorem tax collections reached 86% of the budget, totaling $1.7 million. However, a portion related to TERS has not yet been transferred. Sales tax revenue reached 49% of the budget, totaling $1.5 million. For the utilities fund, expenditures exceeded revenues by approximately $196,000. Water revenues totaled $1 million, which was 43% of the budget. Sewer revenues $655,000, 45%, and garbage revenues $978,000, 52%. Expenditures, overall expenditure remains on track relative to the fiscal calendar. The general fund is currently sitting at 42% used, while the utilities fund is 43.6% used. City staff continue to effectively manage resources within the approved fiscal year 2026 budget. And then cash balances, the pooled cash account balance as of March 2026 was $5 million, providing sufficient liquidity to meet operational needs. And the tax pool bond account was fully expensed as of March 2026.
Council, just bring to your attention, again, the utilities, we're operating as a loss, and just focus needs to be in coming months and years on the gas part. Probably where our biggest concern is, so we're working on that. Council, do you have any questions for Brooke? Brooke, thank you very much. Well done. Community development, Crystal.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For community development, we have 7 commercial permits resulting in $2,818, 16 residential permits resulting in 2123. Code enforcement, Gunless Eval opened 10 new cases, closed 7 existing cases. 1 citation was issued and has 4 cases pending further. Library services, 134 books checked out, 22 audio books checked out. Revenue collected, $399. Right below that, you have our rentals, Civic Center, total of 11 rentals, resulting in $2,650. Library, 8 rental, resulting in $800. Parks, including 5 from Polo Patino, 3 from Moreno Park, $675. Complex, of course, Little League is ongoing, so we do not have revenue from there. That will not end until about maybe June, July after Select, as you all know. And then right below there, we have some completed projects and some future projects for our Parks Department. Also, I would like to introduce and ask to come Police. He prefers to go by Annie. He is our new Parks and Facilities Director.
Yes, my name is Robert Solis. Everybody calls me Andy. That's my nickname. I've worked with the Parks and Recreation over there in Johnson, and I came over here and applied, and I'm great that I'm here. And I appreciate the opportunity to work here, and I'm gonna do my hardest and my best to provide for this community and to better everything we have to do for the parks and the recreation and the complexes. I have people that I know, because I dealt with them over there, and there will be some work for us here. Trying to improve the park more than what we have right now.
Welcome, Andy. Glad to have you. You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Crystal?
All right, and the most important thing, Crystal, I think you forgot to mention where Waterburger has as far as the. Not the most important thing, but I'm sure you already. You don't get to go open the gym, so we'll make sure it's really good.
Crystal, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe y'all say select, it's not select yet, it's just on Saturdays, am I correct?
No, we're talking about all stars. So like whatever, from what we're told, discussed also in the last meeting is that we're either gonna get by or district for all stars. So we're gonna have, yes, we're
Because
supposed to
as of
have,
right now, it's just on Saturdays, right, that they're having in, during the week,
for Little League, no, we're going Monday through Saturday,
but not Sunday.
not Sundays, correct? Yes, ma'am.
That's exactly what I was.
Correct, yes.
We're not reading it out on Sunday.
All right, okay.
Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, so you did answer the Waterburger.
No, Whataburger, I believe we're aiming to about maybe June, to finish up, as you guys see, you see the walls up, we have our electrical pass underground and our gas pass. They're trucking along, so. Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions or anything?
Just want to acknowledge Crystal she's doing 2 jobs for us right now, so Crystal, well done. Permit and city secretary is quite a job, so well done. Good work.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, next up, our municipal judge.
Oh, also, sorry, we have early voting next week, beginning on Monday, the 20th, and it runs to April 28th. Election day will be May 2nd, okay?
All right, Judge, go on up.
Every time we just see them go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to do it. Like to see everybody, Okay. Thank you so much. Good evening, Councilman. Good evening, citizens. Okay, before I make this report, if it's okay, I'm a little excited here because I was able to attend a training today which was presented by the county. They called me, invited me, and I guess I don't know, I was just feeling good about it, went in there, and it was a lot of dealing with mental health situations, and how do we handle it, and I got a lot of good information, especially for our department also, and I know that with our chief, he and I talk all the time, and they have classes how to deal with people that have situations that have issues mentally, where there's a mental crisis, and there will be there's trainings and information I'm excited to share with the chief, and it's just something that's added for the communication of the county with us, the municipality. Also, they're gonna be having a fair May the 19th, and they're gonna have, and it kind of bothered me a little bit because when I was listening, they were saying, oh, well, the sheriff's gonna be there with his booth, the department. And I said, oh, okay. I mean, there's no reason why we can't be there with a booth also. So this will be something that we're building that, and we're not trying to sell a product, we just want to be part of that product, and that's important. But as for the actual magistration and dealing with tickets, we had open hearings for truancy on Monday, and we had a good show. And I was really impressed because people from Carrizo showed up and they were observing how we do it, how the approach is, and how our prosecuting attorney did a great job. But the important thing was how the professionalism and the respect and the communication and the expectation for those young students. And before we even start, I tell them exactly this, and I tell all of them, I said, our expectation is that have you be successful. From our community here to the school, from small, middle school, we haven't been bothered. Because you shouldn't miss 20 days, 26 days. So we're not pointing fingers, we're not blaming the parents, we're not blaming ourselves. We gotta fix it, and that's what I told them, I said, we need to fix it. When it comes to a lot of the hearing with the juveniles and the younger students, it's really important, as the mayor stated, that's our foundation. That's what's gonna drive what needs to be done. So that was something that I was really
really happy to hear how everybody was like, wow, and Judge, y'all did an excellent job. This is something we want to take back to Carrizo. This is how we want to do it. So I was excited about that. Okay, as for this month, past month, excuse me, in March, we had a total of 4,455 non-parking, which is traffic citations, and then we also had parking 35. That's on the traffic misdemeanors. Total cases on the docket was 1,456. As just to give you all an example, somebody gets a citation from RPD or they come into our system, we have a schedule, they have to sign a plea, and either it's gonna be no contest, or it's gonna be guilty, or is it gonna be not guilty, and then we set up a date for trial. And sometimes people don't realize how that works. They just come in and think, oh, do I just pay this online? But no, things affect you. If it's something pertaining with a driver's license, and we do a deferral, that means you have $50, it's not gonna be on your record. But if you don't do a deferral and say, well, I'm just gonna pay it, I don't have time. I'm like, hold on, let's explain to you how this works. Because when it comes up in your record and you go get insurance, it's gonna hit you. So those are little things that, as a person of community, like the community meetings, and when we talk to people, we need to explain to them how this functions and how this works. We're just not here to say, I got you. That's not me anyway. I'm the type of judge that says, work with you and we're gonna resolve this. And if it takes for you to do community service, or if you need to do an extended time to pay, then we're gonna do that. And yes, there are citations that I read and I'm like, holy Lord, how did that happen? Well, they said I was driving in reverse for 2 miles. Well, you're not supposed to drive in reverse. You know, and I mean, you wanna laugh about it, but I can't. You know, I'm trying to be as sincere as I can be. Or I get someone come in and they talk to me and I appreciate it. But then all of a sudden, when they're leaving, they're saying, hey, Judge, we'll see you later. And I go, well, where are you going? Well, I'm gonna go. And I said, well, okay, but we haven't even finished talking. So, you know, you really don't know. And that's why I thought it was important for me to go to this training today. And I appreciate our Mr. Reyes. I mean, he does total support for what we do over there. Is everything perfect? No. We know that. Is everything right? No. But ultimately, you have to have the perspective of fixing it. How bad is it? Okay, this morning I get up, I have 3 magistrates, and that's okay, that's my job. But when I sit there and I read them, and then I go through it, and then I do the history report, and I look before I go magistrate somebody who's incarcerated in jail, I feel bad when that person tells me, Judge, I have 2 kids, this is why I did this. And is there any way we can reduce this? And I said, sir, when you have a felony 1, that's from $40,000 to $200,000 on your bond. Because if you have 40 grams of methamphetamines, or, you know, that's a lot of drugs. So now our intent is not just to have the drugs, it's to sell them. So those are factors that we deal with every day. And it's not me, I mean, we have Brooke coming in, she helps us, we have everybody working together. So I just commend Mr. Reyes and how professional everybody is here. Hector comes in, there's questions, he looks at me and says, dang, Judge, you know, I'm surprised you asked me that. I'm gonna ask everybody because I wanna know, how do you feel about that? And he might say, you know, Judge, makes sense, or sometimes it does, but anyway, I'm sorry, no more. Okay, so with the non-traffic misdemeanors, we had 446 penal code, and then the total cases on the docket was 133. Other state laws are 186, and city ordinance, and this is a big one now. I don't know what's happening, but we're having calls about dogs. Are we seeing a lot of dogs? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. And the ordinance about, okay, Judge, well, this is what happened. I said, okay, explain to me. Well, the dog got underneath the gate, took off running, and then I say, I was helping that dog. It's not even mine. But it got underneath the gate, and then they knock on my door and say, hey, is that your dog? No, it's not. But here's your ticket. And I'm like, well, I've heard that more than once. And I said, wait a minute. So proactively, I need to make a phone call and talk to somebody to figure out what's going on here. Because easily I could say, well, just send me a picture of your gate. You do have a place where you can contain it, so therefore we can help you. But that's not the point. How do we fix this? Is that proactively is what are we doing to get all those dogs off the street? Because apparently they're showing, I get, guys, I never thought of this, but I get an email and there's 3 videos of people showing me how dogs are running everywhere. And I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna have to get that one resolved.
All right, let me go over here.
And just for the record, we're working on that. We got good people here that are taking care of that.
Okay. And
Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
not on y'all, I'm just saying, that the thing is all of a sudden, it's like. One day you're, you know, and I know as a judge, not everything is perfect for you when you're working every day. But the important thing is for me, is try to resolve issues as soon as we can and fix them correctly and make sure they're not happening. And I appreciate what y'all do because I know there's a lot going on. So totally right now, for kept by the city, okay, so total was 17,872 for March. And we kept $10,794.78. Remitted to the state was $7,077, but this is the one that's important. The indigent, if you're an indigent, that means you can't afford to pay your citation. And this is at $3,345. So they asked me, Judge, what do? I don't have a job. I get Social Security. I'm disabled. You know, I said, well, I mean, what else can we do for you? Well, how do I pay that ticket? I said, well, there's the law states you can be an indigent person if you qualify. But then I get a person that's indigent, and then I get a call the next week, and another guy walks in and says, hey, Judge, I ain't got a job. Because they talked to that guy and they're talking to this guy. So I started saying, we're not doing it. Because you have to bring in documentation and paperwork to show that you are receiving Social Security. You are disabled. And if you're not, then we're gonna extend it until we find a job or something that you can do to pay this bill. Because we're all accountable for our bills. And sometimes that's touchy because Roger, I don't know, some of y'all know Roger, he works here. He came up to me and said, hey, Judge, that man's like 90 years old, he's out there picking up trash. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, he told me he can do community service. I'm not sending him out there because I'm trying to be ugly to him. Because Judge, I don't know if I can keep him up there. Well, let's bring him back in. But those are the people that I want to say, you know what, you're indigent, but they say, I'm too proud, Judge, I want to work this off. So see, we have that discretion of what we do or say. So when they ultimately, this past month, we've seen quite a few people, magistration is active. There's a lot on this corridor, there's a lot of people that are driving down 35, that are getting pulled over by the county, by the state troopers. And when I get a call and I look at that and I say, wow, I magistrated 4 guys, not one of them is from Pearsall. They're not from Petula. They're not from Dilley. They're from Kyle, Texas. They're from New Braunfels. They're from Dallas. But we're doing it. We're handling those type of calls. And yes, it is our job to take action. But unfortunately, what happens is if we go ahead and magistrate this man, and then they turn around and say, well, you know what, Judge, he's not ours, we're just gonna get him out. And then we're like, okay, so how does this enhance our community? Well, it is our duty, we're sworn peace officers to arrest this gentleman. But he's not in our county, he's not in our municipality. But here we go, we're gonna go ahead and get that guy, or we could be helping out another situation. And we're spending time with this individual. So what do? They extradite him the next day and he's gone. So those are really important factors that I don't think people realize here, especially on 35. But the great thing is with our department and our flow and our communication, it's worked well so far with our citations. Now, I do know that there are people that will come and complain about everything in the world. But as they say, to appease everyone is almost impossible. But to be part of a progressive and smart community, it is doable. But we have to have everybody's action. But thank y'all for listening.
Well, Judge, thank you very much, counsel. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All right, counsel, for that, we are going on to, got some presentations here. Bear with me as I read a few more of the proclamations. This is a big month for proclamation. The first one is a Lyman proclamation, which is April the 18th. I'm sorry?
She's not here, she hasn't.
Yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, she had some kind of emergency or something. So anyway, your report's in there. Look at that. All right, this is a proclamation. Whereas the city of Pearsall recognizes the power grid as the lifeblood of our modern society, and the maintenance of that infrastructure is made possible by skilled and dedicated individuals who serve as linemen. Whereas these brave professionals work at great heights in close proximity with high voltage power lines and under frequent dangerous conditions to ensure that our homes, schools, businesses, and emergency services have the electricity they need to function. Whereas linemen are often the first responders during weather emergencies, working around the clock in extreme heat, wind, rain to restore power and ensure public safety, often leaving their families to care for the needs of our community. Whereas the professional of the lineman, the professionalism of our lineman requires countless hours of specialized training, a commitment to rigorous safety standards, and a level of physical and mental fortitude that deserves our highest praise. Whereas without the essential service provided by these technical professionals, the economic growth, comfort, and security of the city of Pearsall would not be possible. Whereas it is appropriate to set aside a day to honor these who labor tirelessly, often behind the scenes, to keep the lights on and the power flowing throughout our jurisdiction. Therefore, be resolved that the city of Pearsall does hereby proclaim April the 18th, 2026 as Lineman Appreciation Day in the city of Pearsall. And we encourage all citizens to recognize the vital contribution of our electrical linemen and to express their sincere gratitude for the dedication and sacrifice of these essential workers. In witness thereof, I hereby set my hand and cause this seal, the city of Pearsall by Ben Briscoe, to be affixed this 14th day of April, 2026. We have in our midst Mr. Jimmy Ernest. Jimmy is with.
Can we share a video really quick?
Okay.
Jimmy, if I just want, the really neat video, it won't take about a minute or so.
But anyway, as you guys know, we are the lineman capital of Texas, very proud of these individuals that do so much to make your life comfortable. It is. I'm gonna turn it loud. Sure. Jimmy, is that you?
Long ago.
Volume on.
I get stuck in the false.
Is that a sidearm there that you've got?
Volume follow here?
The TV is terrible.
Yes.
There it is. Yeah, basically the video was, this was done in another state, it basically shows some of the history of the lineman back in years and how. And some of the things that they've done, but nonetheless, we appreciate them, I apologize, there's no volume there, but try to get the video going and send that it's cooperating. So.
Well, we're very proud of that designation and proud of our linemen, and probably many of you have linemen in your family, and it is great, great aspect of this community.
You want to come up here and take a picture? Jimmy works for LNP, huge time, Jimmy, but
External Affairs Manager.
external affairs.
Apologize for no linemen being here tonight. We've got most of our local linemen are in Kingsville for training this week.
And we have a lineman breakfast Thursday morning.
Thursday morning,
At Salisco's, yeah, and all linemen are welcome to come. And AEP also helped with your light, street lights are a lot brighter. AEP just came in and worked with the city and doing that, so that's another good thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jimmy.
Appreciate it.
All right, couple more to come. Proclamation. This is National Police Chief. So Lieutenant, is the captain, is Chief still here? But anyway, we are proud of our police force and to recognize that. To recognize the National Police Week 2026 to honor the service and sacrifice of these law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Pearsall Police Department. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States who have made the ultimate sacrifice and who have been killed in the line of duty. Whereas the name of the dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C. Whereas 363 new names of fallen heroes have been added to the National Law Enforcement Memorial this spring, including 111 officers killed in 2025. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all other officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Memorials Fund's 38th Candlelight Vigil on May 13th, 2026. Whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of the National Police Week, which will be observed this year, May the 11th through the 16th. Whereas May the 15th is designated as Peace Officer Memorial Day in honor of their fallen officers and their families. U.S. flags will be flown at half staff. Therefore, be it resolved that the city of Pearsall will observe May the 11th through the 16th, 2026 as National Police Week in the city of Pearsall, and the publicly salutes the service of our law enforcement officers in our community and its communities across the nation. In witness thereof, I, Ben Briscoe, here set my hand to and cause the seal of the city of Pearsall be affixed this 14th day of May 2026. Police officer, thank you very much. Well, one more. Okay, this is Public Work Weeks. This is for Jimmy and for Hector. Whereas, and all the many people, including the dream team back there that make this happen. Whereas public work professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vitally important to the sustainability and resilient communities, to public health, high quality of life, and the well-being of people in Pearsall, Texas. And whereas these infrastructure facilities and service could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportations, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other facilities and structures essential for civilization. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Pearsall, Texas, to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the important public works program in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Be it now resolved that I, Ben Briscoe, Mayor, do hereby designate the week of May 17th to the 23rd, 2026 as the National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representing the American Public Works Association and the government agencies and activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public work professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contribution they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing the quality of life for all. In witness thereof, I hereby set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Pearsall to be affixed this 14th day of May 2026. And folks, the blessing of having this kind of job and getting the ability to work with city council is you really see what happens to make a city work. And y'all, it's no accident that you turn on the faucet, it works, you flush the toilet, it works, or your gas lights, and it takes a lot of effort, a lot of skill, and a lot of knowledge. And these guys are trained up, they have a lot of certificates, and they go out at all hours of the night to keep those services running. So another well-rounded applause for these guys. Dream team, Jimmy, you want to take a picture? Rudy, Joe, y'all, I'll come up here. And then Chief, we're gonna get you, police officer, in just a second. Yeah. All right, all the public, we're gonna council, can you stand up, let me recognize these guys? Congratulations. That's awesome. All right.
You ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One little, this way. Okay, perfect. Little more, no, this is the, right there, okay. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you so much.
All right, law enforcement, y'all come on up. One more, council, please. Lieutenant, where's the lieutenant?
You still got stuff up. Okay. Cameras are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, item 6, 16, discussion on animal control initiative and other related matters, Pearsall PD. Did we cover that earlier?
I would like for us to go into further detail as far as the accomplishments and the status of our current animal control.
Okay, please come on up.
I'd like to provide just a brief overview of our animal control and status of where we're at right now. And then our animal control officer, Christopher Ronaldo, she's going to further explain some of their accomplishments, goals they have, things they've done, and things that I would also like to introduce, Mr. Haywood. He's our second animal control officer, which is something we haven't had in quite a while. But to speak on that though, animal control has been a very difficult position to staff. We had a very hard time for one point hiring people, finding qualified applicants for one, and then applicants winning the state. We went for a period of probably close to 6 months to almost probably close to a year, where myself, other officers, the captain, we were going to the kennels and cleaning up, feeding the dogs, watering the dogs, doing all that. We were rotating out this because at that point we just couldn't find a person with any qualifications to do this, and we've been very blessed to not get only just, or we've been blessed to get more than one. We have two now who are highly qualified and who've done an amazing job for the city. Of course, this is something that goes far beyond just them two, or myself, or the rest of the police department when it comes to animal control. We are in dire need of the help of the community to help us curb the problem. Where people are irresponsible pet owners and don't spay either, if they don't plan on taking care of the litter, it's a revolving door that you cannot afford as a city to keep going. She made a very good point at one of the meetings about how one female dog can create, I forgot the amount of dogs over a span of so many years, between the litters giving off further and further and further. It was almost like an astronomical amount of dogs, and that's just for a single female dog that has a litter of puppies. But again, to speak on the note, they've done an amazing job. They have gone to trainings. They are qualified in a lot of things. We're in the process right now of gaining the ability to euthanize, if need be, ourselves instead of relying on the local veterinarian. There's a lot of positives coming out of this. In the most recent, probably the most recent thing that it's been out there is about the dog attack that happened a few weeks ago. It's very unfortunate. It's very sad. It's something that I'd never like to see happen in this community. But we all as pet owners, we all have to do our part. We have to. That's the only way that we can reduce things like that. Marcus Aurelius said you can control what's in your mind, you can't control outside events. We can't control everything that happens. Neither can we. But we can try. We can try to reduce it. We can try to make it safe. But it's a group effort, it's a community effort, and short of that, we will continue doing our best. But with the community's help, we can make it so much better. So she's gonna speak a little bit further on what they have done, the goals they have. If you all have any questions for her, Mr. Haywood, or myself, then please feel free.
Council, if you could get there just really quick, and I'd asked him to do this. This is some of the work they're doing. And so what we don't see, and honestly, what I don't see either, is this is some of the data. As far as data tracking dogs, they're tracking animals. And this is, part of this is things, dogs that they bring into the shelter, okay? And so what she'll show you here is just part of what they have to do. Somebody, what my question was, somebody's entering this data. It's a lot of data to enter per animal. And so what the general public doesn't see, including myself, is they don't see all the data and the information that's being put on about these dogs. There's dogs, and she explained some of this to me, and I think she spoke to the mayor as well. That they're doing that, again, the average though doesn't know that we're paying for, the taxpayers are paying for as it relates to animal control. So again, this is just an example of the data that they have to enter. Chips they have to implant in dogs, when they catch dogs, when they release dogs, catch them again, release them again. I don't want to take your, steal your thunder, but that, I was, anyway, I'll be fine.
Crystal, go ahead, Lori.
The report that you see above is our animal intake numbers from January first to close of business to date.
Can you blow that up, Crystal?
Yeah.
Make that a little bigger? Can. There we go. Okay,
Now,
Crystal.
I started here back in June. I did not start intaking animals until July. November 31st, I picked up 236. That's almost 500 animals coming off of your streets. We can't get to all of them. We have 13 kennels. If we go back, I can show you we have 36 in the kennels right now. 36. That is way too many. I have 2 of them. This is their 3rd time being in the shelter. I wrote them tickets. Tickets were dismissed. I can't speak as to why. Their 2nd impoundment, they were going inside HEB. That's where your food is. That's disgusting. Their 1st impoundment, they were at the elementary, showing signs of aggression. Of course, when we got there, they changed their attitude. This is their 3rd time. They were at an individual's house for 2 days before they decided to call and let us know. How many times do I allow this person to take their dogs back? City ordinance says 4. The fees that they pay to get those animals back, very minimal. And an individual pick up their dog today, they only paid $45 for reclaim.
Crystal, can I get you to speak up just a little?
Absolutely,
Okay, so I got a question.
absolutely.
How much time does it take y'all from start to the end on picking up a dog?
That varies.
Worst case scenario.
I have a case that I have been working on since July over on Obregon Street. I'm still working it. There were 15 plus puppies. I'm still actively working. My cases do not close until they are complete. Every dog that is on that initial call has to be impounded before it is complete. So I have cases that are open for months at a time before they are closed.
I have another question.
Sure.
So the complaint that that I've gotten is that y'all have to go together or do y'all go alone? Cause there's 2 of y'all.
So there
Wait,
is-
let me finish. That they call the sheriff's office and that nobody responds because that they have to wait for both of y'all to be together to go pick up a dog.
I'm not sure where that information is coming from. However, there was a
this
recent
was a
report that
disabled
was
thing.
put out that said we have 2 vehicles. We only have 1.
Well, and also picking up a dog, you don't know where you're going up.
Yeah, that's what
So it
I,
might be for safety reasons, a good idea for someone to go too, because if you do have a dog that's aggressive, then one person could likely be in danger.
Part of what we're gonna do, council, we are gonna provide a second vehicle to that end, part, because she prior to this gentleman being here, Mr. Hayward, she was. One doing all.
What is, so
So-
question, what is the state, what's the state law as far as euthanizing an animal?
As far as the procedure or
Time-wise.
how many days? So there is no state law. There is a city ordinance that states we have to hold it for at least 72 hours before that can be done. At this time, we do not currently have a DEA license for us to possess the drugs necessary for euthanasia.
how long will that take for you to get 40 and go?
We're in the process.
Oh, okay.
Now, what's the state law, Bobby, as far as euthanizing dogs, is there?
They would know better than me since that's their job.
And no one comes forward after 72 hours according to city ordinance, they are the
That's
property
the
of
only
the
thing
city.
about
I think that's what needs to be done.
My thing also is that, and it's not just one person, I've been approached and called by several people that when they call to dispatch, dispatch is telling them, well, unless the dog bites, we're not sending a dog catcher out there.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
aggressive.
yeah, they have to be aggressive, they have to have had dated someone in order for us to do anything. So that's the problem that I'm running into, because again, we're starting to have dog problems over there at the Rio Apartments.
Yes.
And my people are like, oh, well, we called, and they said, and I said, no, but I mean, if it's more than one person saying this, then.
That would be a question I would ask the supervisor of dispatch.
But to that end, Councilwoman, to that end, again, keep in mind. Even if there are a call and they can do something, keep in mind, they only have so much kennel space.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so even if, again, there's a misconception that we don't wanna pick up animals. There's no misconception in the sense that, again, we're giving you the math, we're telling you we have 13 kennels. And that's what we have, and if we have 32 dogs or however many dogs we have. It's a problem, and so
So you know, we only have so many spots.
that's it, you run out of room, and we don't have and so part of that, maybe what I can't speak for dispatch, but maybe that's part of their thought process, I don't know, is we only have so much space for dogs, and that's, it's unfortunate, but to that end, the taxpayers are paying for this to include animal control, where you keep the animals, feeding the animals, housing the animals, paying for stuff like this. And it does cost, it isn't free, no doubt, it's not free.
What's our solution?
Spay neuter, in-house euthanasia. Some of these dogs we are keeping for very prolonged periods of time,
So in-house,
in-house.
so how long is the process for that? Or how long till someone gets certified?
So I am a licensed euthanasia technician as well as Mr. Hayward.
So what do we need?
We're waiting on
Yeah.
PA license. I don't have an exact time frame. If I told you it'd be 19,
But it's been.
but we are in the process, so.
But I think that's the best bet, because I mean, we're like in a no-win situation, you give them back the dog, they let them loose or whatever, they don't go for them, and I mean, do you want to euthanize a dog, or do you want a dog to attack somebody? You know, this other instance that they called me about, a young autistic kid and a disabled mom that she had been calling, and that they wouldn't send anybody out, then they did, and that according to her, that they just tired the dog instead of picking him up. But I mean, it's an ongoing thing, so I mean, they either get with the program, or we're gonna have to do, what we have to do to protect our citizens.
I am familiar with the case. The dog was restricted, was on its property. We cannot take a dog from a property unless it's in violation of something. That would be
But
theft.
the bottom line is,
City.
if they're not gonna do anything, we need to do something with the dogs when you pick them up,
Correct.
because I mean, it's either we protect our citizens or. We're
Part
gonna have
of
another
the
situation.
Brenda has a question, but part of the, and I'm just really quick. Part of the challenge we have, to her point, meaning if a dog is on a person's property, and we've had instances where somebody says, it's not my dog, but I feel him. It's not my dog, but I water it. It's not my dog, or they're just laying here in my yard. I'll give you an example, I'll give you another example. We had our code enforcement officer that was attacked by several dogs last week. Again, but those are things we're saying with us, they're trying to do their job, but to that end it's like, well, they belong to, they're not this person, but they're not fenced, right? And these dogs nobody claims them. So it puts them in a position to where they're gonna have to make objective decisions as best they can, blame investigator, with some people that are claiming that they're not their dogs, they are their dogs. And that's been
But
part
Fred,
of
when
it.
they attack somebody like that and they're nobody's dog, then do what you have to do with them.
But
The reason, you made a comment about us, riding together and,
I wasn't riding
I
together,
know, but,
was not riding together.
yesterday, this Monday. She left half a day, we picked up 3 dogs as us 2 together. In the afternoon, it was my watch. I picked up 5 dogs. 2 of the dogs is where he mentioned about the gentleman getting attacked. As I was picking up the first dog, the dogs realized I was by myself. Second dog, when I went over to pick up, realized I was by myself. So Is that we ride together? Yes, we ride together, because we have one vehicle, but we still gonna work as a team. When one call comes in, we get calls all through the day. I mean, we're working these aggressive dogs over here. We got dogs sitting in the yard. Which one do we take first? We take the aggressive dog. This person has to wait. If we just have small dogs or whatever, we try to get all the dogs, but he made a comment about, they're not my dogs. This is a community dog. Texas law says you feed an animal for 3 days, it's your property. You've taken possession of that dog, even if it doesn't live in your yard. The black dog over there, for instance. Yes, sir. There's 10 people that feed that dog. That dog belongs to 10 people. And we've been after this dog. And every time, some of y'all have seen our makeshift bill. That did not work because she was getting fed. But we will catch her. But it's gonna take us a little while because she's very airy. She was an abused dog to begin with. And those are the hardest ones to catch, is the abused ones. But we will catch her. But I've
And to
been,
clarify, it wasn't that they were riding together, that they called dispatch, they said that,
Yeah.
oh, they have to wait for one another in
Yeah.
order to go. That was from dispatch.
Yeah.
If the citizens feel that they are not getting an appropriate response from dispatch, call PD.
Yeah.
Ask to talk to me directly, ask to talk to Mr. Haywood.
you know, I've been in this for 15 years as an animal control officer.
Please do.
And dogs just don't get caught overnight. The easy ones does, the hard ones takes months. And we have.
Councilwoman Trevino, you have a question?
So my issue is with cats, cause the team house that we moved into, no, I know, and that's that's one of the problems. Is the lady in the front she's feeding the cats, she feeds them twice a day. And cats from like 1581 come out. 1582. Yeah. And and then ever since I moved and I would go and I would pick up the garage door, I just got this strong odor of urine and it's just all the cats spraying, like they just want to spray on my hand. I don't know, but it's disgusting and so I went over there and I asked for a cage. What is it? Yeah. So I just want to say that they were very professional, he was very informative, she was busy. And there was a dog that was not quiet, yeah. So we couldn't communicate, so we did, he and I did. And he was very informative, very, showed me, because I've been there before and they've handed me the cages and said, here you go. And
Correction, not us.
no, I know, that's what I'm saying, he was very informative and he showed me exactly what to do. I mean, it had been years before so it was like on me again. So I just wanna say thank you guys for what you do. And for being so helpful and. I mean, I just wish that we could do something with the cats, and I think that's something that we need to look at because.
So no cats are being picked up then, that's not in y'all's.
Unless they are injured, we do not currently pick them up. We have a program that will go into effect. It's months away. When it does, you will see a decrease in.
But y'all pick up chickens and dogs.
We have picked up chickens. Got them adopted. It is a little bit more tedious, but yeah,
Councilman
they let
Trevino,
them have it.
question?
Mayor, so one thing that I think Fred did, I'm gonna request on my behalf is to bring this item back. We need to revisit those fees. We need to revisit these ordinance because if you look at section 6.32, and I think that's what we need to focus on, these animals are creating a public nuisance. That's what we're gonna look at, because that's what we're getting the complaints on, these vicious dogs. Now, I'm all in favor, if you're not claiming those dogs, then let's take the next step within those 72 hours, because that's the only way we're gonna fix this. Same thing we did with other code compliance things, ordinances, let's move forward. But again, it is gonna be your job to enforce this and making sure that the court backs it up with these, because we're looking at these vicious dogs, and I think that's where majority of the complaints are coming in. Is that so? if we can bring this back to the next agenda, let's revisit those fees, and if it's gonna mean we're gonna have to up those fees to put a little bit more pressure.
And all what they've asked, we had a conversation, all what they're asking for is compliance, really, they're not looking to charge people to make, kill dogs, I know that's not the intent, it's not compliance. And so that, I know she put some things in here for you, and I know that there's a whole bunch we can speak to, but just to give you some summary of what key things we can do to make better what this stuff is to help us.
So I know that before we came in, there was a lack of education for your citizens when it came to animal control. So this is some of the literature that we pass out. This, we actually spent a pretty penny to have made regarding tether laws. And of course, we provide bite information and information on rabies as well. There is a common misconception on this lovely little form, which you see here. If you find this on your door, it's because we weren't provided enough information and we need to speak to someone at that house. On the back, it has additional rabies information. There is a little portion that tells you if we don't hear from you, there's some legal responsibilities that you may put, such as tickets. If you are feeding a dog for 3 days, it's yours. If you tell us we cannot take a dog, it is yours. We will cite you as such.
I appreciate you guys.
We got 4 of them.
I know,
An owner came forward and that's what I was speaking of, that only paid $45 to get back his animal. And how much of a nuisance was that, Bob? This was left on her door because those animals were underneath the home. Now, had I went underneath that house with my catch pole and damaged a water pipe, who's liable? So I have to be mindful of damaging your property, your vehicle, any of. Well, all of this educational material is something that we pass out. We implemented the software that tracks every single animal that comes through, the microchipping, every single animal that goes home, leaves with a microchip, mandatory. For a small fee of $10. That helps us to accurately get a pet home, as well as track how many times it's been in our facility. That assigned number also helps us to know if that dog has its rabies vaccine.
As a what?
Rabies vaccine.
Oh,
That is the most common thing that we can know it. Nobody's dogs are vaccinated.
wow.
So I believe in total. 500, I think, and we still have 5 to 6 packs that we are working on. We actively have 30 cases that are still open.
Council, that and citizens, the takeaway here is that the citizens need to know that Pearsall is doing a lot. I think that unfortunately, in the 5 years that I've served in this capacity, we've had 4 animal control officers, and so our hope and prayer is we've got some stability. We've got folks that are really dedicated, and you can see there's a lot to this. There's a lot, and it's just not as easy as go picking them up. And there's all kind of regulations that just add more and more expense to it. But we are addressing it, and these people are professional. They work under our police department, so a very vital part of our community. And I had a chance to visit with Crystal and the cats and the chickens. All these things, they get snakes, bobcats, foxes, they get all kind of critters, coons, skunks. So they deal with all that. They have a hard job as well, but we're blessed to have them. And we're excited about where this can take us, and we anticipate that it's going to get better. But take a lot of effort. And hats off to the chief for keeping a hand on it, keeping everybody accountable and keeping us daily. But with that, council, do you have any other questions for our?
No, I have a comment, Ben, but
Go
what
ahead.
he said, they need to know that it is important to us, because by that message you put out on the paper, people are misconstruing it like there's other important stuff than the dog, and that's not what we're about. We are not about that. Everything's important to us as a community. So I know I got several phone calls like, oh, they say the roads, and they say this. No, everything is important to us, and every entity, every different thing, the parks and recreation, the streets, we all have different grants for that. So by all means, the dog issue is important to us too. And we want the community to understand that, because like what you put, I don't know what it was that you put out, but that was a big old thing, like, oh, well, they're saying it's not important. It is important to us. Because we care for the safety of our children that are out there, we care for the safety of our citizens that are out there. And so I just want to make that very clear. So,
Yeah, I think there was a misunderstanding. If they took that as that everything does matter, everything does matter. But
Okay,
it's all got a priority. It's all got where you
Right.
place it. So everything is important. You can see by the investment that we make in these people, it's vital. So with that, council, you have any other questions for Animal Control Officer?
No.
I just wanna make one comment. Crystal owns dogs herself. I'm 60 years old and I've owned up to 90 dogs. And I do this job because I care about the dogs. I mean, I hate to put dogs down that are pregnant. I hate to see dogs abused. But that's what I got in this job 15 years ago. To be a person for the dogs, because they don't have anybody. If someone lets them go down the road, that's not their owners. That's someone who really don't care. So that's what I'm here for. When Crystal asked if I could come and apply to bring my knowledge, I told her, yes, I will. And when I first saw it, I looked at her and I said, oh Lord, what did you get me into? But
there's a lot.
we will, we're taking next year's future of dogs out now. Where it's gonna be the hardest is the past dogs. They're smart. They know everything that's going on. But right now, we're taking the future out. That means all the puppies, the young dogs, the stupid ones. But we are, every day, we're here and we're getting yelled at. They're dirty looks, but we do our job. To the best of
Glad
our
to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, all right, y'all. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on with that. Thank you. We've got item 60. Discuss an update on the Victory Convenience Sports Complex Master Plan, Texas Park Wildlife Grant Implementation, and other related matter. This is a discussion item. Crystal, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, once again.
Good evening.
As you all know, the city of Pearsall was awarded, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department grant. Something about $1.5 million, our city's matches, $750,000, which can be either cash or in kind. Also, we have the sports complex master plan, which is also in place right now. It is a live document, so it is subject to change. Can you go to the next slide? Right there, sports complex serves as a cornerstone for the community, driving significant economic growth through sports tourism while enhancing the quality of life. Let's see, for locals beyond providing a venue for physical fitness and wellness, this facility acts as a social hub that fosters community pride and local engagement. Some of the things that did overlap between the Texas Parks and Wildlife Grant as well as the master plan. You can see right here above, the expansion of the athletic capacity with additional fields that includes baseball, softball, soccer, football, and then practice. Soccer, football, that's gonna be through your PV Sports, PYO, and Little League as well for baseball, coach pitch for softball. Enhanced family and community recreation, which includes the inclusive playground as well as the upgrade to the existing playground splash pad and the pavilion / shaded area. Modernize existing infrastructure, ADA compliance, LED lighting and irrigation, which hopefully we'll get working with our reclamation project through funding through the Texas Water Development Board that we received. Improve health and connectivity. That's included by the 1.5 jogging trail expansion that's hopefully to go around the practice. So this multi-sport fields. This is important for us to focus on. It's designed to accommodate baseball, soccer, football, and other field-based athletics. Facility will provide the versatile infrastructure required to support the district's evolving athletic program. Now, this is going to include Pearsall ISD. We are expanding to soccer. I believe junior high is now operating baseball. Correct. We only have so many fields. You guys know we have one baseball field, one softball field, and at the high school, The kids' programs are growing, unfortunately, what they have to use is not. This would be a gateway to include them into this joint use collaboration. Definitely for the local nonprofit youth leagues, such again as Pee Wee and Little League. By centralizing high demand resources, the city ensures that the facility is utilized at maximum capacity during both school hours as well as community league windows. Now you're gonna get, pretty much, you're gonna get most bang for your buck, taxpayer dollars. Non-programmatic amenities. The new amenities provide essential recreational outlets for non-participants as well as an area for families to congregate between games. This ensures that the park remains a continuous community asset rather than a restricted permitted use only facility. That includes the new playground equipment as well as a pavilion for individuals that are their parents, senior caregivers, you know, our community, grandparents, blah, blah, blah. As well as a splash pad. Don't want our kids to overheat. So while kids are playing Little League, you have siblings that are non-participants, they need something to do, they get restless. This is how we incorporate that. Next slide. Jogging trail expansion. One thing I'd like to add on to what's up here, we have had we believe it is the Autism Fun Run, the Color Fun Run, which we have had maybe about 2 years, as well as we've had multiple cross-country events out there. We had them running kind of in a zigzag by the wastewater treatment plant. This would help steer them around our practice fields, a little bit cleaner area for them to join in. Next slide. And then an overhaul of our current infrastructure. As you all know, our complex was built early 90s. Bathrooms are a little bit rough. We want to enhance them, bring them up to ADA compliance, as well as our inclusive playground and the splash pad. Primary objective of this project is to bring all facilities into compliance with the Texas accessibility standards and ADA, American Disability Act, by eliminating physical barriers and upgrading restroom configurations. Also, we'd like to upgrade our current lighting to LED, as well as around the jogging trail. Possibly include expanding LED lighting out there. Practice fields, one of the big things, I know whenever I had T-ballers, we turn on our headlights to help them out, because it goes, yeah. Especially for Pee Wee too, for football. And then integrating the reclaimed effluent water from the city's in-progress reclamation project from Texas Water Development Board to provide a high nutrient, cost-effective alternative to treated municipal water. This ensures that sports complex remains a lush, safe, and viable community asset while maintaining fiscal responsibility. There's no reason why we should be using our water. We should be using non-potable water to water our grass on the fields. Does anybody have any questions or anything regarding?
I don't have any questions, but I will make a comment that I think, kudos to the staff and the administration. I know that when Ms. Haran was here, that 1.5 million, I think those are things that we want to talk about in the communities, the good stuff that coming in, and how hard and how long we've been working on this, and kudos to the council for backing this, that sports complex, and the master plan that's out there is, I mean, as it completes hopefully all 6 phases at a price tag of about 60 million, that would be would look something like this out there. I mean, this is the beginning. This is something good for the community. Again, it's a lot of work. I have to give a lot of kudos to city manager, Crystal, staff for what they've done in the grant. The grant itself, I think it had been, Mr. Reyes, how long had it been since we received the grant from the Parks and Wildlife?
It's been a few months, it's been about, people were notified when.
No, but before, when was the last time we received?
Oh,
Something.
when we actually built.
It was in the
30
90s, yeah,
years.
early 90s.
30 years.
So again, that 1.5 million, and the other half that we have to match, that match comes in. It's gonna help, and I think this is gonna be and great asset to the kiddos and everybody, all the community, the school district and the kiddos and like that. So again, this is something that we are excited to highlight because it's gonna head us into that growth and economic within those areas. So again, we couldn't be more excited of launching this one.
We're definitely gonna have to stretch out the 1.5. That's why we're trying to go with easiest, fastest, but most cost effective option. So you okay? We certainly wouldn't be able to get an Olympic size, a junior Olympic size pool or our building out there for 0.5 million. Wouldn't even be able to build a foundation probably for that much. So.
Part of what we wanna emphasize, we haven't done a lot of, as far as PR pushing this out, but one is receiving the funding, right, making sure we have it. The other part is making sure we have a plan. And again, this is a conceptual drawing. So when we talk about plans, we're actually drawing up plans for this. So you know, part of the irrigation, I'll share this with you. The non-potable water we're talking about is potable water. So we dispose of about, I think it's 292 million gallons of water a year from our wastewater treatment. That water goes downstream. So there's other folks that benefit from the use of that water. All we're saying is we'd like to use some of that water ourselves. So that's a lot of water. We can just imagine how many 290 million gallons of water is. Now, that's a conservative number. It's probably more than that. In saying that, by using that water and having some of it reclaimed, my position is that you can have some of the best fields, irrigated fields, I would say, in the region. But it does require some time and effort. It does require planning. That's what we're working on, is making sure all this kind of meshes to be able to get some of this done. But it's a combination of funding from the Texas Water Development Board, Texas Parks and Wildlife, city funding, and I don't forget another funding source. But again, we're looking to do something. We haven't touched the park really that much in the past 30 years. I think we've done some pavement, done some parking lots.
Sidewalks, repaved the trail, National Fitness Campaign,
So this will probably be the biggest investment that we've seen in this party in several years. So we're anticipating something good, and hopefully the community is receptive and can agree that it's a quality of life thing. We recognize we have all kinds of projects that we have to do. We've primarily focused here on water and wastewater projects, streets. We spent, I'd say, at least for our capital improvement projects, 80-90% have gone to infrastructure. The rest need something like this, doesn't happen very often. That's where we are.
Crystal, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Excited about this. Next up is item 6F, presentation for Performance Services Inc. to discuss proposed replacement of city gas meters and capital improvements of the city facilities, including HVAC and lighting. Chip Wood. Welcome, gentlemen. Sorry to take so long.
Very
You got the
good.
floor.
I believe this is a PDF, so you just scroll a little bit, but, yeah, my name's Chip Woods, this is Kyle Leonard, we're with Performance Services, and, we've, had the pleasure of working with the city, and by the way, thank you, Mayor and Council for this opportunity. We've had the opportunity to work with some of the staff. I haven't met many of the PD guys, but I would like to take an opportunity, the first responders, Jimmy and Hector's crew, they're doing thankless work. I've seen the fiber guys going out there, and it's mitigating what they do day to day to go out and fix those line breaks. And so I thought it was fantastic that the city is recognizing them and giving them a week. So kudos to you guys. But I would like to show you guys a little bit about what we saw. And so these are your pictures. We've spent quite a bit of time in the city, and then go through and tell you why I think we're here, why I help. Haven't met Christine, but back to
Trying to blow this up.
yeah, so there's been a lot of talk about the sports complex, right? So you'll see some of the lighting. There's a large gas meter. This thing is about the size of the tile I put together, and it's at the hospital. You might recognize the roof across the street. The police, the PD guys might recognize some of the foundation stuff. And then some of the controls. So what we are a design build company, design led, design build company, but we're at the heart of it, we're an energy savings company. So we look for opportunities to help cities like Pearsall be more efficient in how they consume energy, whether gas and or water be more efficient. We do, and the next slide, please. Again, these are a lot of things that we looked at, the complex. We did a fairly holistic site survey, all the city facilities. There's been a lot of talk about the great work that's coming on board with water, wastewater that Fred and team have done, lift stations, but they did provide us access to look at everything. We looked at a myriad of different things. I'll touch on the water, wastewater. I mentioned solar a second ago. We looked at solar for the plant, but it's just with the current administration and a lack of rebates, it's fun to think about, but it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't have payback. And so, it's not something that we're recommending at this moment. Next slide, please. A little bit about performance services. So you may or may not have heard about us. We've been in Texas for 10 years. We've been a company for 28, but this is just the work. This is our Texas resume. We do work with municipal. We do a lot of work with municipal K through 12 and higher ed. Majority of it is with anything we're doing energy efficient. Next slide. And then how we do it. We're doing facilities studies, guaranteed energy savings projects, which is largely what we're looking at with City of Pearsall. Like a lot of the things that we just showed you a minute ago. You saw some old HVAC units, you saw some old lighting. These are this is the low hanging fruit that we can come in. One of the benefits in hiring us is not only do we stand behind the work through our word, but there's actually a written guarantee, and we also guarantee no change orders. Pretty unique in a construction space, and so that's if you look at all of those, I'd like you to just come away with we're guaranteeing whatever we do, and we're guaranteeing there will be no change orders when you hire us to do that. Any questions so far? No? Okay. And again, we mentioned a little bit about this HVAC, lighting, utility conservation. That WGE is water, gas, and electric. The Fred and Hector and staff have got a good plan in place for water loss mitigation. Gas is still a little bit up in the air, and so gas is we've heard you, we've heard the staff. It's very important. And we believe we've got a plan in place if we're hired by the city to move forward to identify that.
And rectify.
That's the goal. Yes, sir. How we're procured, tips. It's like a 5-ward Sourcewell. The city's familiar with these. We leverage everything we do. We're leveraging the state code. Whether it's on design build for the 2269 or Texas Government Code 302. 302 specifically and acutely identifies energy savings contracts. It's our base and guideline on how we go to procurement. It is a competitively bid out with a lot of our peers, not our peers, but our competitors. And so I would say 90% of our project style are procured through tips.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned us being a design build, and you're probably familiar with the design bid build. You put something out, you design something, put it out for bid, hopefully you get low bid. A lot of times what's in the bid docs, there may have been something missed, and now you've got a lot of finger pointing when something doesn't go right during construction. We are a design build company, so we have everything in-house. We have architects, we have engineers, project managers, and so we do everything soup to nuts. But we also work hand in hand with the city's hired engineers team. But when you hire us, you're hiring us, and we manage everyone below us. And I think this should be a little bit more linear, because there's that blue line going to the orange lines. We don't have subs of subcontractors, so we manage every different scope of work and every different vendor. So it mitigates margin on top of margin. And so then what that does is lowers the cost control for the project. And then we don't have to have a ridiculous contingency when we're doing this to cover some of those unknowns because we don't have control of the subcontractors. And this is super busy. I mean, she could try and blow it up, but it'd still be hard to read, but I did want to show you guys in this. And I'm gonna say we loosely, this is mostly Kyle is the rock star here. He's the brains behind this, but Kyle spent a lot of time with Ramiro and Hector and staff to look at all of these buildings, all those pictures. They weren't pulled off the internet. That was Kyle doing site surveys, and he presented this to staff. It was supposed to be an hour meeting. I think we were there for 2.5 hours going through this. And so it's just, if nothing else, this illustrates there's still some work to be done, but you guys should feel, again, really comfortable with the progress that the team has made. And quite honestly, some of the stuff I heard tonight is progress than what we've since our meeting in February.
Yeah, and some of these things are overlapping with what Crystal talked about for the LED lighting. You know, we looked at that, what Hector talked about with the gas line leak detection, you know, we were looking at that as well. So, you know, so some of these things, you know, may fall out, you know, if we move forward doing an investment grade audit. But, you know, all these things we're looking at, you know, we looked at a lot of things and, you know, we'll narrow that down to what makes sense for the city. And you guys are gonna be involved in that. We're gonna be working with all the staff to say, okay, hey, you've got 5 HVAC units that you need to replace. Well, if you got 2 of those are only 13 years old, we think those can last till 20. Let's take those out, let's just do the others. Things like that. We're gonna work with the staff to figure out what's your best bang for your buck.
Brett, you think that?
No, I don't have.
Council, do you have any other questions for? It's a really interesting, so all in the name of being more efficient, saving money, bringing efficiencies back to our community as much as possible. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for that presentation. We'll certainly be.
That's actually an action item there. I'll make sure that that's okay. That's something that it's just on the agenda as an action item.
Okay, yeah.
You want to discuss what that audit entails? You want to just leave it to that?
It's it's an investment grade audit. So I mentioned the legislation, there's the 2269 and Texas 302. This is originated with 302. And there are 4 steps to it. You have a preliminary audit, which is what we've completed. The next step is an investment grade audit. It is an investment by definition. There will be an investment or a commitment from the city to hire us to complete this fully engineered audit. We are collectively protected because they're a third-party engineer. Once we're finished with the audit, a third-party engineer that's hired by you guys, not someone that we get to pick out of off the street and say, hey, can you come check my math on this? And so they do that to make sure that there's legitimacy in what we've presented. And the breakaway fee, which is the investment, is just shy of $39,000. It really doesn't cover our costs to do this. Our intent isn't to sell investment grade audits. Our intent is to be a good partner and find work that the city is confident in us to deliver. And then we deliver that with, again, the guarantee of whatever we do versus in addition to no change orders. What we recommend, that we don't recommend, what we offer with this is because we're in the middle of the year, we don't ever recommend or would ask for an amended budget. This, if for whatever reason, there's 3 reasons. We do the investment grade audit. The audit turns out to be what we all thought in the preliminary study. The city hires us to do the work that we identified in the scope. That was agreed upon by the city. We don't just pick and choose. You guys can say, hey, you looked at these 10 things, let's just do these 4. We create that scope of work, we move forward with that job. That 39,000 is just rolled into the cost of the job. Because we've already kind of done that work, so we're not just stacking on dollars on that. The second scenario is the city chooses to hire us for the investment grade audit, but doesn't want to hire us even though it does what we thought it was gonna do. That $39,000 would be due your next calendar budget year, so we wouldn't ask the council to do an amended budget just to get this audit report. The third scenario is you hire us to do the investment grade audit. We do the audit and it doesn't match what we thought or the work that we've already done in the preliminary audit. You get that audit at no charge. You can still hire us, but we're not going to charge you for the work because it doesn't fit within the 302 legislation.
All right, well, council, this is gonna come up a little bit later on in action item. Any questions at this particular time? All right, Chip, gentlemen, we'll call you back here in just a little bit. All right, thank you very much. Okay, council, we're moving on to a public hearing. Old school.
Mayor, is it possible that we unite a lot of these public hearings?
See still, Jerry?
All of, perfectly fine with having all 4 of them. Being.
Let me ask you this before we do that. If you recommend all of them?
I do
Okay,
recommend
all right.
all of them.
Council, I'm gonna ask for a motion. We're gonna go ahead and have the public hearing. And then as soon as we get done with that action item, I'm gonna ask that you make a motion that we include all 4 into one. I have a motion by Councilman Garza, second by Councilwoman Trevino. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Going through our open hearing. Item 7A, this is an open public hearing in the matter of Jean Nicole Martinez on the application of a land use variance special condition requesting for a variance of the city of Pearsall. Charter 48 zoning property located at 565 Margot Drive, described as such and such. This is an open hearing. Is there anybody that would like to make a statement regarding this property? This is an open hearing. Is there anybody that would like to make a comment about it? Hearing none, I'm gonna close the hearing. It is, what is it? It's 7:54. With that, I have an open public hearing in the matter of Felinda Escalante on the application of Planning and Zoning Commission for the land use special condition requested variance of the city of Pearsall 48 zoning ordinance of property located at 920 East Colorado. Legally described as such and such. This is an open hearing. Is there anybody that have any comments regarding this property at 920 East Colorado? Hearing none, I'm gonna close the hearing. It is 7:55. It's an open public hearing in the matter of Brian Rodriguez and Ariel Nicole Rodriguez on the application of a land use variance special condition requesting for a variance of the city of Pearsall. Chapter 48 zoning ordinance code property located at 1312 East Colorado, legally described as such and such. This is an open hearing. Is there anybody that has any comment regarding the property located at 1312 East Colorado? Hearing no comments, I'm gonna close that hearing and we've got one more. This is an open public hearing. It is at 7:55 in the matter of Corey James Hernandez regarding the application of a short form final plat for village residential lot. Be located at 519 North Chestnut, Pearsall, Texas, property located as described. Is there any questions from anybody in the audience regarding property located at, what was it, 915 North Chestnut? Hearing none, we close the public hearing. It is now 7:56. With that, council, we're going to move on to item 8. This is a consent item, approval of the March 10th and the March 17th city council meeting. This is an action item. I need a motion. Motion by Councilman Hernandez.
You did
Second by
17.
Councilman say that again.
You did? Okay. Second.
Okay, I'm gonna take a motion by Councilwoman Hernandez, a second by Councilwoman A Garza. Is there any questions? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, moving on. Item 9A. Discuss and consider authorizing the city manager to execute a letter of intent to complete an investigation grade audit and awareness for PSI, Performance Service Agency, Performance Services Inc., a performance contract for the upgrade to the city gas meters and capital improvements to include HVAC, lighting, such and such. This is an action item. I will ask for a motion in a second.
Motion.
I got a motion by Councilwoman R Garza. I got a Councilwoman, second by Councilwoman A Garza. With that, city manager,
I'm not gonna.
you got the floor.
Do you have a question? Councilman?
Yeah, I was gonna ask him if we could, put together 9C, D, E, and F.
I, what?
Nine.
Yes.
D, E, E,
Mayor
and
Pro
F.
Tem, yeah, look that up for a minute. Yeah.
We just have to do one motion.
Oh, I'll think he's stepping up. Yeah.
He's stepping out, so he wants you to. Approve. And I see the E and F, we can approve all those.
Yeah.
Well, wait, well, we're on 9A, right?
No, but he's at, they're asking to approve that now.
Because we have the public here.
Here,
Okay, well, we go ahead, well,
combine the nine.
and your opinion was anything on the planning and zoning that.
The Planning and Zoning Commission unfortunately was not able to meet. It was set for Easter Monday. The last minute change in our holiday schedule. However, our community development team does review every single permit that flows through our system. They're within reason. Two of them are carports. They are butted at 2B property. They are not connected. One of them, Mr. Rodriguez, you're asking for it to, technically, an accessory building, structure should be 10 feet away. However,
So hold on,
the
real
extension-
quick, before we continue,
it's-
so then what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump on to 9A.
That's what they're asking us to approve.
So-
Yes.
Council, we're in a consensus, we'll go ahead and move on to 9A, D, E, and F, correct?
Yeah, C, D, E, and F.
I mean, C, D, E, well,
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, yeah.
Again, they're within reason.
So
There's
Fred,
nothing
we'll-
elaborate, there's nothing excessive.
So what was the variance on that, is one on the shed, because we can't have it close to whatever.
The shed, the way that her house, she is in a conforming lot, she has enough space, however, the way the house, because she's located on the tech stop. The house has moved back a little bit from the roadway, so it kind of shortens her backyard. So she's just asking to be 5 feet away from the fence line rather than the 15. And then
Do we have any opposing from the city?
No.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Hernandez, second by Talamantes, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes in all
Thank
four of
you.
those. Mayor, back to you on item 9A.
Now, which one?
They took up items C, D, E, and F there.
C, D, and F, you went ahead and
What
combined.
step out more often?
Good job.
I will call you.
All right, say, okay, we're on item 19.
Not here, 9A here. 9A, the A, B, and G are still.
So, we're back to 9A.
9A, we didn't take up 9A.
Okay. Well, we have a motion and a second on the floor at 9.
Yeah, yes, I have a
You
motion.
didn't, there was no vote.
Oh,
We haven't discussed it in, other than.
okay, I'm confused with how did, with the motion on the floor. I don't see.
Because we had the public here, council wanted to join C, D, E, and F to get it out of the way, so they acted on that first, so now we go back to 9A.
Okay. So, okay, I'm following. So we have item 9A is on the floor. Motion we second.
Yeah.
Hey, we have Councilwoman Garza with the motion.
Mark
Councilman
Garza. Second by A.
Got it. Okay, with that, we're on 9A. This is about Performance Services Inc. Okay, with that, the city manager.
Yes,
You got it.
Mayor Council, in your packet on page 54. Actually, it is on page 53, but I'll go into 54. Page 54 is the letter that we're talking about, and the references.
So Fred, the total cost is 48,000?
It's 30, 30, yes, 39,000. So in that, again, I just want to make sure the council understands what they're doing. They're doing an investment grade audit. And with that, in the letter, it says what the audit is for. Primarily is for gas meters, lighting, HVAC. And so what they're gonna do is get that, they're gonna prepare that. How long do you anticipate the audit to take?
90 days.
90 days. In 90 days, give or take, we'll come back with the assessment and then determine from there how we want to move forward with projects.
Here's the only problem I have with it.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be an investment. Investing 38,000, let's just say 40. Investing 40,000, the gentleman's come back to us, give us a report.
Yep.
And we do squat with it.
Right.
So at that point, it's worthless. So if the council really needs to think is that if we're gonna invest $40,000 into something like this. We need to actually say, okay, are we gonna move forward with it, or we're just gonna blow the money out there and not do nothing with it?
Yeah.
Because we've done countless studies and gone nowhere with stuff.
They're proposing, I think you mentioned the three options. I would say the worst option, but one option you can take is do the audit and do nothing. The other option is to get the audit, say that there are savings, because the idea is to have energy savings, right? Savings, so get the audit, do something with that audit based on what the audit said, right? And then the last option is them telling you the audit doesn't come out, whatever you're not gonna see a savings, so might as well not even do anything. And in that point, there won't be a charge of the $39,000. But to your point, yes, that is an option that communities can do. You can just do the audit and not do that, but they're giving you the information for a reason. Because there are potential savings again, we're looking at potential savings to pay for whatever improvements we're gonna do.
I mean, we know that there's room for improvements in our community. I mean, even within the city.
Yeah.
I'm not saying our community, well, both.
Yes, sir.
There's room to both sides. But again, if you're gonna invest 40,000 into a study. The council has to be willing to commit to somehow, some shape or form of action. Is to do something with that study and not just let it sit there and pay for it.
Yep.
Agree? Because
Council, it's like anything else, it's sometimes you gotta spend a little money, save money, it's all about, as we talked about the gas meters, if we can. If we can find a solution that cuts our gas loss and gets our utility bills back in line, so I would say this is a track towards that.
So this is all gas meters,
We all get some commercial.
which we know there's room there.
Oh, we have,
That's
yes,
for sale.
Yeah.
So we know that there's gonna only be two options.
yes,
I mean, let's just set it out. There's only gonna be two options. Do something or don't do that.
yes.
With that being said, now the council, where you spend 40,000, take consideration that. It's not worth investing in something if you're not gonna do something with it. So that's a council decision. Now, if y'all wanna sit back and think about it, that's up to y'all. If y'all wanna vote on it right now, vote on it.
We've got a motion and a second on the table, would you like further discussion?
I would like to take one item. I would like to table item.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second by
I'll
Councilman.
retract.
Those who motion and second, would you withdraw your motion? And remove to table this item to give it more consideration?
Do you have is there anything else from me or Chip that y'all need regarding this item, because it'll be.
Well, one of the things is they've already created an investment in the community and looking at certain things, so I think it's worthy to have them come back, maybe at a workshop or something like that and. Go over these things, I think it's a wise decision, we're gonna spend 40, there's gonna be another aspect to that, I mean, they'll be, okay, from XYZ. We'll fix this and this. But, again, we're looking for ways to save money here and sometimes you gotta spend it to save it. But anyway, we've got a motion on the table now to table this item for a later date and we'll let Fred get in touch with Chip and staff to look at maybe coming back and giving more explanation for what we can do to move forward and a commitment from the council. Okay, with that motion to table, I've got a motion and a second. Is there any other questions? City Secretary, do you have the motion in a second?
Correct.
Okay, with that, call a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. And thank you very much for the work you guys have done, recognizing the investment you all are made in our community. Thank you. All right, with that, moving on to item 9B. Discuss and consider authorizing city manager to negotiate an interim agreement with the Enterprise Fleet Management through the Sourcewell contract number 030122 for the fleet management and other related services. This is an action item. I'll put a motion in a second. Motion by Councilwoman R. Garza, second.
Second.
By Councilwoman A. Garza. With that, city manager, you have the floor.
Mayor and Council, this item is on the agenda as an action item. This, I believe, the gentleman that was here came and I wasn't at the meeting, gave a presentation to you our last council meeting. And I think they're willing to go over any other questions you may have. Then we also try to do a lunch and learn with this. So there's been two opportunities we've had to ask questions regarding what the program entails and what this is. So this will be the third time that we bring this. The other times with discussion items, this is actual action item. But again, we can go over whatever questions they may have regarding what this service entails and what they do. They're here to answer any questions.
So this is fleet right, the fleet trucks?
Yes.
That we get for 5,000 a year.
These are good. It's like, I will make sure.
You started, I don't know if you had trouble spitting that out, or you just kind of.
I want to make sure I was hearing correct. No, this is for the fleet vehicles, so this is the public works vehicles, police vehicles, animal control vehicles as well.
They need to go, I think last time some things that they didn't share, or whatever reason, again, I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know what.
So Fred, this right here would be going into 2027.
Yes, 2026, 2027 budget. Now, there's gonna be some discussion we're gonna have as far as if we're looking to procure items, vehicles this year. That'll be a point of discussion as it relates, but we could easily, if we agree to something, have it in 26, 27, that's possible.
Now, how many vehicles are we looking at right now, the departments that?
They got all that stuff.
They got that?
Yes, sir.
So
How many vehicles are we looking for in total?
Sure, it's a total of 19 vehicles. Out of those 19 vehicles, it's gonna be, that's made up of, one police vehicle. It's made up of two of those animal control vehicles, and then the remaining 16 vehicles are public works vehicles.
How does that animal control vehicle we got currently have?
2014.
2014? Oh, that's pretty new. And,
Okay, order,
what
order,
is this
order,
annual
let's
cost?
move forward.
Excuse me?
What's the annual cost of these 19 vehicles?
Great question. So the annual cost, so year one, you're looking at just over $164,000. That includes the vehicles, the 19 vehicles we just talked about. That also includes the first year of some of the upfits for the vehicles. For example, the animal control vehicles, there's quite a bit of upfit that goes into that. The police vehicles, there's also going to be upfit that's going to go into those vehicles as well. And then we would actually use some of the equity from your current vehicles. We would sell them on your behalf and then roll it into that in order to bring those prices down.
Now, since these are lease vehicles, right?
These are equity leases. The city would own the equity throughout the entire lease. So this is actually money that's, when we sell these vehicles down the road, this is money that belongs to you guys, not to Enterprise.
So basically, you're selling us the vehicles.
So it's
In a sense.
it's an open equity lease, which means that there's no wear and tear penalties, there's no mileage charges. We're ordering the vehicle directly from the manufacturer. You guys get a turnkey ready, and then you guys operate it. We estimated at about a 60-month lease. So at 60-month mark, we're gonna reevaluate, see if it makes sense to replace it, or if you guys decide to continue utilizing the vehicle, you have that option as well.
So what's the benefit of us going directly to the dealership versus going to the office?
Great question. So we would go directly to the manufacturer. So being Enterprise, we have 2.5 million vehicles or so. So we're gonna go directly to Ford, directly to Stellantis, General Motors. We're gonna have them build the vehicle. So by doing that, it's gonna cut the cost down. We're also on the Sourcewell. You guys will get Sourcewell pricing on that. So it just brings the price down about as low as it can go. And we're gonna build it exactly the way you need it. So instead of going to a dealership and just having to pick a vehicle based on what they have on the lot, we're gonna just build it with just only the things you guys need, so it just keeps the cost a lot lower.
Second year, what does the price go to?
So the second year, it's only gonna go up to just over $168,000. Not a big difference.
So it goes up the price.
It only goes up slightly simply because the second year, we don't have any of the equity that equity that we're utilizing in the first year. So we're selling a lot of those vehicles you guys have already. Using it towards year one in this model, you can certainly spread it out if you'd like to. You don't have that equity in the second year, so it's a little bit of a.
19 vehicles that y'all are considering selling for us, what's the estimated value of those 19 vehicles combined?
So we estimated it at just under $42,000 total.
So those $42,000 would be deducted for the 164?
That 164 is already taking the $42,000 into account, but also keep in mind that first year, it's also taking into account the upfit for the vehicles. You're only gonna pay for that upfit. So the first year, it's gonna include the upfit cost, and then it's 50% of the upfit cost, and the other 50% gets spread out throughout the lease. So there's also year two, you're not gonna be paying for that upfit again, right? So that's why there's also a little bit of a variance on the price.
And where did you get the pricing for the 19 vehicles that you came up with 42,000? Are y'all auctioning them off, or y'all gonna just resell them at whatever price y'all believe they're valued at?
Sure, so we do a little bit of both, so, we buy and sell about 1 million vehicles a year, being enterprise. So this is all, these are fair market values, it's sight unseen, it's based on age, mileage, and just the vehicle information, so. We're estimating, it's a conservative estimate, that it's gonna be, just under $42,000. Ultimately, we're gonna do whatever gets you guys the most return. We're gonna try and hand sell it if we can, for some of the newer vehicles with lower mileage, we always like to hand sell those vehicles. The older vehicles that have high mileage, those will typically go through an auction, so.
So let me ask you this, so what if the auction price for the hand sale exceeds the 40,000, in that case, do we get that additional credit?
100%. You guys will own all the equity. This is just a conservative amount. But if there's anything that's, any higher number, that goes to you guys.
Do we get a breakdown of what each vehicle is costing us as far as 260 individual costs?
Yes, I mean, we have a breakdown of each individual vehicle, which, like I said, is based on Sourcewell pricing, but we have a breakdown of each individual vehicle, each individual monthly costs, so on and so forth. Are you looking for a specific?
No, I'm just asking in general.
Oh, yeah.
So with the millions of vehicles y'all purchase a year, is this the best price y'all can give us?
Absolutely.
I missed the term of this contract. What is it?
16 months.
To 60.
16 months, it's about 5 years.
It
However, that doesn't mean that you're locked in for 16 months, right? All that means is that that vehicle is being leased to you for 60 months because that's the best price that we can give to you. At any point in time, if you feel like the program isn't, you're not locked in.
So there's other communities and we're not the first, right? I think you guys work in Pleasanton, City of Pleasanton.
We are part of the city of Pleasanton, city of Cotuí. We're here in San Antonio. We have right around 175 clients that we work with from San Antonio down to.
Right, how many approximate vehicles do we have in our fleet?
And what's the total number of vehicles there?
It's in the fleet, 21.
Total 21, that's what we have total.
Probably just the public.
Just public works, 21.
So for the total fleet, you have 42 that includes vehicles.
42 including PD.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So we're replacing almost half.
Correct.
The reason behind that is what we did was we estimated our replacement values at anything that's 10 years or older or has over 100,000 miles.
The effect on our budget, Fred, or? The effect on our budget, or, so that's the first year, second year, the third year, does it decrease?
The third year will, so from years 2 through 5, it's gonna remain, well, years 2 through 4 will remain the same. At year 5, if you decide, we'll see if it makes sense to sell the vehicles, so then you would be getting a credit for the sale of those vehicles. So it's gonna be 5-year-old vehicles with, they're still gonna be worth quite a bit of money. So that's gonna be the only year that's different. Like years 2 through 4 will be the same. So
What is that figure?
for year 5,
Year 2 through 4.
sure, it's $168,000.
And year 2 was how much?
Sorry, so year 1 was 164, and then years 2, 3, and 4 is 168.
Got it.
And then year 5, but if you opt to sell all the vehicles, we'd actually be getting a credit of about $29,000.
And if I can add, that does not include the prices if you choose to sell on the other, was it 13 or 23 vehicles, however many it is, that's still left in your fleet. The equity is still not touched at that point. So if you choose to sell those other vehicles, that will go down as well.
Councilmember, do that in as far as what the effect would be on the budget, the tough part, I think they've done some assumptions. But the tough part is what we spend in maintenance right now, what that would decrease to, so I know that there have been some assumptions made on that. But you wanna go over to what those assumptions are as far as what we.
What's the average cost, Mayor?
So,
Did you were figuring out?
yeah, so just roughly, if I got this right, we have a total expenditure over 5 years of 668,000. And we're gonna get a credit of 29,000, so it roughly leaves us 639,000 divided by 19 vehicles. Means a total cost of each vehicle over 5 years at 33,000. But you carry the maintenance.
Correct.
So it's like getting new vehicles for 33,000 apiece.
Y'all carry the meetings?
Correct. So that includes the maintenance. Yes, the maintenance is included as part of the figures that we're using. We use local shops. We have a network of about 70,000 shops nationwide. So we have local shops that you guys will utilize for the maintenance, but yes, it's gonna be included on that.
Is that?
And one other thing too is you manage the maintenance as well. In other words, you track how many miles are on there, and then you say, hey, it's time to get X, Y, Z into the shop. And
That would be
that adds
additional.
value.
That would be
Yes.
additional.
No, that's included, so we have it's about a 12-month onboarding process, we're gonna hold your hand through this whole process. We're not gonna give you keys to a vehicle and say, hey, good luck, let us know when you need a new one. You have a client strategy manager that's assigned to your account, they're gonna be out there at least 3 to 4 times a year, we like to do in-person meeting. They're gonna make recommendations, when it comes to the maintenance, we'll make recommendations, whether it makes sense to, hold on to a vehicle, replace it, whatever makes the most sense. So it's a full, fleet management program, it's not just a vehicle.
There's no upsell, if you want this, you gotta pay extra for this.
No, the great thing is that the prices that we're talking about includes the maintenance it includes the vehicles, it includes the maintenance program. Like I said, we'll sell your current vehicles, we'll dispose of these vehicles once, whether it's at the 5-year mark or whatever point you guys decide to do that. It's already included.
Let me just ensure my math's right, so it's 164 1 year, then it's 168 times 3 years. And the 5th year, I didn't put a number for the 5th year, I just took out 29,000, so I did that right.
So for the 5th year, we're saying that you would actually, if you sell all of the vehicles. Like if you sell the 19 vehicles, you would actually be getting a credit of 29,000.
Okay, so
Yes,
that,
that's
the
correct.
math is right, so
Yes.
it's 504 plus 164 minus 29 is 639,000. Total cost, again, divided goes just like that, divided by 19 is 33,000 over 5 years per 19 vehicle.
Correct.
Cost per vehicle, and you carry insurance.
We
Come on.
have insurance, so you guys will be insuring it the same way you guys insure your currently.
So just asking.
Yes, that was worth asking.
To add to the maintenance portion too, so your maintenance rate is locked in and inflation proof. So in case World War IV happens, you're still paying the exact same amount that you signed today.
So. When it goes for an oil change, we pay or y'all pay?
So it's included in the lease. Yes.
It's included.
Yeah.
Oh, it's included in that price?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. Everything from, you mentioned an oil change, so it includes an oil change up to, we say, hey, anything from an oil change up to a blown engine. Now, I think you just said somebody mentioned tires. When it comes to tires, it's, what we recommend doing is you can still use the same shocks. I mean, that's when it comes to like wear and tear items like that, you get a little bit of a discount. We would essentially, you get the work done at the shop, at a local shop. And then it would get added onto your next invoice. So we typically don't include it. We can, but most people aren't gonna use like the entire credit, like for the brakes and tires, it doesn't make financial sense, so that would be one of the items you guys would be responsible.
Council?
We've got a motion and a second. Is there any other questions? Okay, we have a motion on the table to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Enterprise Fleet. So we've got a motion and a second. Is there any other questions? With that, I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes to allow the city manager to negotiate the contract. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Council, thank you. All right, item 19, discuss, all right, council. Discuss and consider authorizing a request for proposal RFP for solid waste services for the city of Pearsall. This is an action item on call for a motion. Motion by
Second.
Councilwoman Hagar, second by Councilwoman Arngard, the city manager.
Council, this doesn't look very good, but this is, that's a black,
No, I gave them a clean copy.
No.
Well, great, okay, let's get it.
Good.
I gave you a-
All vote great, all agree, thank you. No,
You have a clean copy as well.
what I want you to have energy for is this item. So make sure we're ready. So with that item, these are some of the things we've discussed already, and I'm not gonna go into detail, too much detail, but we went into a contract with Republic in 2020 on December 21. The contract is up January 27, so our records reflect. There, and I think Republic Services also came in. We've met on more, quite a few occasions to kind of go over some of the things. So basically, I want to add that most of our residents, and I'm going to go over some of these numbers with you, just so you'll know what we're talking about, are just get one container. That's what most of our residents do. Okay, you have 2 bulk pickups and 4 brush pickups are also offered as part of our service, right? So again, we go to the next slide. We have facilities that we have no charge for, the city of Pearsall, they get one cart, one 96 gallon cart. So this facility across the street, other facilities, that's part of the service, there's no charge for that, as Terry mentioned, we have a $5,000, we have $5,000 donation from Republic as part of the contract. We normally use that for the toy giveaway. What we do, small donations and contributions, as Terry mentioned, is also something they've helped out with. I think they participated in some things. I think we had to cook off, maybe some other things that they helped with. And then the rates since 2022 have increased 5% each year. I think every year, if I'm not mistaken, every year there was an increase of what the rate there was. Okay, so additional ways. This to me, this is probably not. This is just as important. These are the other things that we do aside from what Republic we do in Republic Services. Okay, there's containers that are located at the transfer station. And the containers are utilized by ratepayers as needed. We, the city, charge them a nominal fee. So when you go dump stuff at the transfer station, y'all know, people that know this, and Hector has some information, we charge a nominal fee. That fee that we charge to include people dumping in the transfer station and even dumping brush does not balance to what we get charged for the containers that are out and what we have to pick up. Okay, so when we have that, the brush disposal at the transfer station, again, y'all know the other one, Mr. Mundus, we have an agreement with him to pick up brush at that is not part of this agreement. So I want to make sure that that's clear. That's additional dollars that come out, services that we're paying for. Tire roundup, we're doing 2 a year. Tire roundup is not part of what Service Republic, we're paying additional for that. Operation Clean Cut. The council, we didn't do anything this year, but I think last year we did. That is not part of this contract. We do that. That's an additional service that we have. That is not part of what, again, we're paying. So these are all additional fees. Hector has 2 sludge containers per, give or take, per month that he dumps his sludge in. That's covered under a different fee structure. It's covered under wastewater. And then with the exception of solid waste rates, they basically, there's things, expenses that we're taking on that aside from what we have the contract for with the public. Can you go to the next slide? I'm gonna show you, this is what, or when we talk about charging rates. The customer doesn't see this, but they see that we see it, and then we have to structure our rates based on these fees and what other services we provide. So when we talk about the other services, the containers, the transfer station, the brush pickup, the tire, all of that creates our fee structure. So when I talk, the customers right now, you have 1,550, give or take 1,500 customers. I'm gonna say that are residential customers inside the city limits that we charge the fee. So that's your biggest customer base. You have inside city limit customers that pay. The Republic charges $19.35. The residential outside city limits, we have outside customers too. You can see the number of customers we have. Around 240, 245 people. Customer account. The senior outside city limits is 34. Commercial inside city limits is about 101. And commercial outside city limits are, but you can see the rates in the structure. How much they charge, how much we charge them. And what I'm talking about there, these are just the containers, 96-gallon containers to our house. So go down to the next slide. This is what when Terry came up here, some of the stuff we're talking about in issuing an RFP. The reason people think, well, this isn't expires in January. This is the process that I'm talking about. If we decide to move forward with an RFP, this is what it takes, what I'm suggesting. So we issue an RFP in April. You basically look at the proposals in June. It takes a total, I'm saying, of about 3 to 4 months minimum to go through this whole process. So with that, we would award sometime in September. And then if we needed to make a transition, we make that transition from September of 26 to December of 26 to have a contract here by January. So just to make sure you understand, that is the timeline that we're under. I know if we decide to continue with Republic Services, we have ask for some considerations. What I like from the council tonight is the discussion of, I'm trying to point out how the services that we have, right? My question to y'all is, to me, it's a lot of services. But what services can we live with and what can we do? That's it, that's what I'm, because we're gonna continue with this level of service we have. We gotta take. I mean, that's just on, and I'm Terry's here to maybe answer questions, but that's the extent of where we are. So that's what I'd like to know from council. We've talked about bulk pickup, we've talked about brush pickup, we talked about additional brush we have, we also have bulk pickup, we also have containers out there for bulk at the transfer station. All that we're paying, the city is paying for through rates, through charging people. Actually, how much do we charge for brush disposal?
$30 a trailer.
$30 a trailer. That trailer can be as high as much as.
I've seen it as high as 16 feet tall.
That's how much we charge. We charge $30. So we're doing that. So then on top of the bulk, we have the analysis of how much we bring in out there. I think it was $40,000 this year. We spend more out there, transfer station level, for sure. So that's my point is that with the bulky items, I think we go through 8 containers a month. That's give or take about 8 of those containers that you go up there and dispose of stuff. Those containers run around $1,300, something like that, give or take. So each container we have to go and send to get it empty runs $1,300, multiplied 8 times 12 months times $1,300. And that'll give you the amount that we're paying for disposal of those containers.
So that 13 each or 13 for all of them?
Each, $1,300 each. So you just do a little bit of the math, it's 96 containers times $1,300. So that's what we're paying for people to dispose of things at the transfer station to include. And then we on top of that, we have the 2 bulk pickups, the 4 brush pickups per year that we're doing. And that's what, I mean, I think Terry's here and I'm sure maybe there's other ears that are listening. That's the question, is do we want to continue to provide that level of service? And that's what I'm asking.
Okay, so what was it that we were asking that they were not budgeting?
We part of the discussion again is because as I mentioned, right now you're paying $1,300 per container. And so my point is that you could get some of that taken out, right? So again, you multiply 1,300 times 96, I don't know what that number is there.
Right, just council, real quick, Fred and I sat down and looked at all these items, all of them, the both, the stuff that Montes does, the tire pickups, this came up to about $212,000 on top of the actual track, what the proposed does. And so, like that, one of the things I think council needs to look at is, charging enough fees rate wise to incorporate those other things, because again, tire roundup, if we don't do something, they're gonna dump it. So if we don't at least have that, the Montes trash until we get an incinerator or something like that, we're still gonna need to pay $30-something thousand a year to get that done. These bulk roll-ups and that's our point, is they're not really covered. Fred, am I saying that right? They're not really covered in the way that we charge right now. So either we can cut services with our current carrier and create the revenue in there, or look at increasing.
It's an imbalance in the sense that you pay for your containers, and right now, I'll give you an example. Most people don't know, most people not here at the council, but most people don't know, as part of our agreement, you can have, I'm gonna shift it a little bit, but you can have 5 bags outside of your trash can. I don't know how many people know or utilize that for the agreement, but that's part of the service that we're providing. To that end is part of what we need to get used to, is decide if that's, because I think everybody's going now to, how they're picking up your trash, they manually, that's shifting to where people now everybody's doing the cart, they're picking the carts up. So that's part of the discussion we have with the public as well, is moving to that type of system, reducing the amount of bulk pickups, reducing the amount of brush pickups. Because that's something that we can, in my opinion, negotiate to figure out what we truly can do. If we want to continue to do the same, we can, right?
So what is the staff recommendation?
It has been, it is, just our reduced level of service.
RP.
I'm sorry. If that's
Vote on it.
But no, hold on, before you vote on it, again, I'm asking some clarity. I'm asking you, because we're gonna prepare the RFP, I'm asking you what type of services you're asking. I need that direction from the council because I can put the level of service that we need, but if I don't know, I'm gonna put something in there you may not wanna see. That's what I'm asking.
I think we should go like flags at least two. And then the ones that's costing us $1,300, if it's costing us more money to do that, then we're putting out
Do you guys,
either raise the rates or do
do
away.
you still wanna see the level of service of the transfer station?
No, I see.
Because you have, I mean, I know everybody uses it, but there's others that use it more than others. So that's what I'm getting.
You know, as an example, that 212,000 is offset by a little bit because we do charge. There's offsets, but just doing the math, say we're open 250 days a year roughly. We need to make at least $850 a day.
It would depend if we cut services, meaning what I mean by that is if you reduce the level of how many times we do bulk pickup. I would hope that Terry or his group and others would look at it and say, okay, we don't have to provide that service anymore, so it's a savings for them, right? So answer your question, I don't know, because I don't know what that difference is gonna be. But if we continue to offer, like the brush we're doing right now. Again, we offer the 4 brush pickups. If we go into people's truck, we go and flip, and then we also have brush at the transfer station. So my point is that if you would say, we're not gonna do brush at the transfer station, I'm mentioning this, right? I'm not saying this is what's gonna happen. Then you cut that service, and you say, all you have is the brush pickups at home. Or vice versa, have a bulk pickup, you have the 2 bulk pickups at home, and then you have a bulk pickup also. And most people, if you're smart, people will use that transfer station because it is cheap.
Well, what I would say is, on the boat pickup. Put it to a sense where they get, there's 2 boat pickups a year, right?
Yep.
You know what, we're not gonna do boat pickup, but you're gonna have credit. 3 or 4 times to go to the transfer station.
Yes.
So in essence, they're able to go dump more
Yes.
than having people to drive around.
Yeah.
In the brush, I would say do the same thing. Don't do brush pickup, but allow people to dump over there for 6 times. I mean, because that's gonna save on cost, monthly cost, I would think. And it's gonna not say, okay, well, we gotta store your stuff there till May, when you go in March. Because you have credit, it's amount of credit, whatever, whatever system you want to use. But again, it's whatever the council wants.
Is there a lot of, on the brush pickup, what data do you have is there a lot that?
You wanna share some of the brush numbers, you have some of the data.
That gets picked
Are you
up?
referring to the brush pickup provided by Republic or the brush disposal at the?
No, the ones that's picked up by Republic.
Oh, okay, that, Terry, maybe speak, when they do tonnage, I know they do tonnage collection or amounts, there's. Because and I have that information, I don't have it with me. But it is significant, both are significant, brush and the bulk, so people do both. We also have significant collections at the transfer station, so we have both services. But I can't, again, I have the tonnage information.
What I wanna know is it enough? People that are actually putting their bulk out there and brush enough, or do we just eliminate that and just stick with?
I don't know, I don't have the number of how many people actually put stuff out. My assumption is that everybody does, but I don't.
But honestly, Fred, with that too, with bulk pickup, people don't even do it on time, so it stays out there, it makes the community look trashy, horrible. So if we could do it to where they just go leave it at the station and cut that, I think that would help. I don't know, that's just an option.
I agree with Ms. Councilman, because I think that would motivate people to not go through it. And we're offering.
Okay.
That service.
But what happened to the talks about when they were initially saying that there weren't gonna be any or as many bulk pickups and that there was gonna be 2 trash cans?
There was gonna.
What happened?
That's gonna be, again, the number.
Terry wants to talk.
Council, thank you for y'all asking good questions. And
Trying to help
all we
you.
need is direction. Guys, we ask for direction, we need direction, whatever y'all choose. Republic has. Time always promotes and exposes companies to who they are. You'll know who's who by what they do. We've proven to the city that we can do a great job. We love you. We've done everything we all have and gone above and beyond the Call of Duty. Going to this RFP that pops up, everybody says RFP. I know what happens. Sometimes that's like that. Because there's two companies in this area, Republic and one other. Independent company that operates in this area. We have the landfill, we operate that. If we take this RFP to, it'll have to go to corporate for approval, and they'll see all this. I don't want anything going up on your citizens, that's what I'm trying. That's what I care about, I don't want that to happen. I think if y'all give us some guidance and let us know, you got beasts right here that can negotiate with us that are tough, and they will get the best deal for you, I promise you.
I think last time you guys were here, we had already given you a list of stuff that you wanted. Last time we came with Bowen and it was like, we can do all this, you know, and if y'all can go back, if you go back and maybe look at that list and be like, okay, we can do some of this, and absolutely cannot do that, then, you know.
But we need to revisit that too, and make sure, because I don't know, we could.
Part of that, there was back and forth, I'll share this with you, there's been back and forth where I've asked for probably the world in the fairness. And they've come back and said, well, we can do this, but part of the discussion, to your point, council member, is the direction he's talking about, and I'm gonna speak to Terry. The bulk and brush pickup was the start of this. This has been happening since Julian Hernandez was on council.
Then when?
Julian Hernandez was on
Oh,
council.
yeah.
This has happened since then, so part of what you just conveyed and mentioned is that if we can eliminate, which that gives direction, eliminating the bulk and brush pickup. That gives, now we're talking complete elimination. Initially, we were talking about one bulk pickup and two brush pickups, which we're saying now is a complete, which is fine with me. It's a complete elimination, so I think that gives us more leverage and help to accomplish containers of the transit.
What if the residents dump stuff out there? Are they gonna be cited for it?
That's the other thing that whenever we talk with them, is part of what they're asking us for is help when it comes to code enforcement. In the sense that if we, again, let's just say we don't do any more brush and bulk on people's homes, then we're not gonna have a problem. Right? So, meaning we're not gonna have a problem with people going and putting stuff out. You may have other.
Some that will,
Well,
because they still have that
well,
mentality
that's-
that they're gonna.
That's where code enforcement gets dispatched, and believe me, neighbors will, they're the best reporters.
We can offer an out of cycle bulk pickup for somebody who does that. And give them and make them pay that bill only, not the city. We could do an out of cycle, something like that. So just tell us, help us.
My only problem with that, in fact, I'm not saying it's not a great idea, but the problem I see is that some of the citizens, like our elderly, they have nobody, you know, to help them out, whatever, are gonna just leave their stuff out there at the, you know, at the curb. And it's gonna like Ms. Garza said, it's gonna look bad, it makes the sound look bad, so.
I get it.
We're gonna find somebody.
Code enforcement part of it is, we're gonna start, I mean, I hate to say that, but that's what's gonna happen.
Community service?
That's what I was about to say.
Services are had one designated day like, hey, and help our elderly or disabled out there, you know, and pick it up and take it to for them. I mean, there's options.
Yeah, I agree.
Community service,
Principals?
Okay, well, we have a motion and second on the floor for an RFP.
What's the direction the council's gonna go on? We're going for RFP, or we going to continue to drill Republic?
There you go.
So
thank you, Terry.
that is the question at stake here. Is what is the direction of the council want?
Would you like to investigate this further and?
Table it for now.
Okay, all right, as you know, council, okay, council, we'd have a short window because this.
A month.
Yeah, okay, I'll have the next one.
Can you negotiate the month, Gary?
I definitely can. And as far as this time goes, I have the autonomy to extend free as far as this January thing. I'm not, we're your friends. We're not
Thank you,
hold
Terry.
up, you know,
That's what we-
fire. We're not doing that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor, that, the motion and second, would you like to recant your motion and
Yes.
make that a motion to table?
To rescind? Okay, A Garza and Councilwoman R Garza to rescind and to table?
And then at the same time, make a motion and a second to table. All right, we have a motion on,
Table till the following meeting.
Yes, right.
okay, there is a motion and a second on the floor to table this item. Is there any questions? Okay, hearing no questions, I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. With this, folks, we're going to executive session. Please leave your phones here and listen to be right back.
It's in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're back in open session. No action took place in executive session. And for the record, when we left for executive session, Councilwoman Talamontes had to exit.
Okay.
With that, we have items on the agenda. Item 11A, discuss and consider the Fair County Jail Service contract and other related matters. Council, what do you?
I make a motion to go ahead and approve as presented.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the letter as presented and request the signatures. Go for a second by Councilwoman A Garza, and I'm gonna ask for a show of hands vote here, please. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I didn't see everybody's hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Motion passes unanimously. All right, thank you very much.
President, you got that paper? Please give it to me.
Okay, item number 11B, discuss and consider the duties of municipal court judge.
I make a motion to go ahead and direct Fred and the group of
City manager.
city manager, go ahead to go into further detailed conversations on this issue.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor to authorize the city manager and the city attorney to negotiate further with the municipal judge. By Mayor Pro Tem, there's a second by Councilwoman R Garza. Is there any questions? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. With that, is there any questions regarding the March bills that have been paid? Okay, with that, is there any general announcements?
Motion to adjourn.
Wait, I haven't got there yet. No,
I wanted to.
okay, we've got the police chief with a general announcement.
Just found this out just a little while. This week is actually animal control officer appreciation.
Wait, we'll do another proclamation. Okay, all right, thank you, chief, appreciate it.
I also have some events coming up. So tomorrow we have coffee with Pearsall PD at Jalisco's. And then we have the lineman appreciation. We're gonna do breakfast as well as at Jalisco's on Thursday at 7 a.m. The police is at 9 a.m. And then we're also gonna have our Earth Day event where we give out trees and plants to the community. That is on Earth Day, April 22nd at 10.
22nd or the 20th?
All right.
The 22nd.
Elizabeth. Yes.
Of course not.
This
would be the first year.
No, we're.
You haven't had these on for a while.
Okay, council, is there any other announcements?
No.
If not, we'll call for a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn by Councilwoman Hernandez, a second by Councilwoman Carino. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We're done.
Hey.